phones will be required to undergo a facial recognition process by the Chinese authority to prove their identities. This is significant because now the Chinese government will use the internet to rate citizens based on their daily behavior online. Since 2015, Chinese citizens have been required to show their ID cards while applying for a landline or the internet. The new law is put in place to verify that the ID belongs to the person applying for the services. The new law was published on the Chinese Ministry of Industry and Information Technology website and distributed to all Chinese telecom carriers on September 27th. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals, high-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. On September 30th, the FBI issued a press release noting they published their 2018 crime statistics. Activist Post reports that most notable about the report is the fact that despite constant fear-mongering by the mainstream media and the government that crime is running rampant, the number of violent crimes decreased 3.3% as compared to the previous year. Also contained in the report were the numbers and causes of deaths in murder cases. Although the FBI did not make the comparison themselves, when reading the data, it's shown that the number of murders carried out with knives or cutting devices was 5 times higher than the number of murders carried out with rifles. The comparison is particularly important given the current gun climate in America. It's also important to mention that handguns were responsible for the majority of firearms deaths. It's also important to point out that all firearms deaths combined made up the majority of all murders in the United States. Of the 14,123 murders in 2018, 10,265 of them involved firearms. A former NYPD cop was acquitted on felony child rape and sex abuse charges this month, despite filming the interactions with the 15-year-old victim himself. Instead of going to jail for years, the cop will likely escape any actual accountability. According to the Free Thought Project, the ex-NYPD police officer, Raul Almeida, was accused of recording his sexual encounters with the 15-year-old girl on at least 5 occasions. The facts were indisputable, yet Almeida was acquitted. Instead of facing the time in prison for the felony rape charges, Almeida was convicted of 2 petty misdemeanors of official misconduct and witness tampering. The witness tampering stems from the fact that Almeida told the girl not to testify against him in court. The official misconduct charge was brought on after he was caught accessing NYPD computers to see what evidence Internal Affairs had against him. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
It's the Onion Radio News. A crazy man announces plans to stand in a doorway and yell at cars. This is Doyle Redland reporting. Dennis Fife, an Alhambra, California crazy man, held a press conference today to announce his intention to stand in the doorway of the office building at 2600 Kenilworth Avenue and yell at cars all day.
At approximately 9:30 a.m. on the day in question, shortly after I finish lunging at dogs, I will proceed to the front steps of the Simmons building and yell loudly for 9 hours. The screaming will be broken by a 15-minute fit of rigid catatonia, most likely in the late afternoon.
Among the topics Fife plans to address during his 9-hour rant: the ace of diamonds, bookshelves, the man trying to kill him, plastic bags in trees, Trapper John M.D., and papers everywhere. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live. This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
Michael.
And Mark.
And have either... Michael, I'm sure that you've seen South Park. Mark, have you ever seen South Park?
Is that some kind of convict joke? That's cruel. It hurts. Yes, I've seen South Park, and I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, I love it, especially now that they've sort of moved from, the old comedy of...
Do you have a favorite character?
Not particularly.
See, for me, it's Cartman all the way.
Oh yeah,
I can understand that. I mean, he's humorous.
Yeah, he is. He speaks his mind, and he's looking out for his own best interests.
What is on his mind is usually wrong, but he does speak it. So evidently, they criticized Chinese censorship and the Chinese government.
There's not too many things left for them to criticize, so good for them.
Yeah. And the Chinese government
I don't
happy.
like Chinese censorship, so good.
Who does?
Right.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. Somebody.
So evidently, the Chinese government doesn't approve, even though I do, because South Park has a history of making fun of stupid things, and I would categorize, the censorship as being done by anybody, but especially the Chinese government.
Has anyone translated the Streisand Effect article into Chinese?
I would hope so.
I'm sure they have.
Now, for those unfamiliar, the Streisand Effect posits that any attempts to cover up bad publicity amplify that bad publicity.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And it comes from, I guess, Barbara Streisand. I don't know exactly what she did, but it didn't work out.
I seem to recall it was like some kind of copyright claim she made. I don't have all the details just on the top of my head, but that's what seems to come to mind.
Now, the best part about this, of course, is that South Park criticized Chinese censorship, and the Chinese government responded by censoring South Park and banning it from their country. Evidently. So South Park...
I wonder how many
banned.
Chinese fans that South Park has. I mean, it might be pretty popular. It's a good show.
It is, but it's never been particularly kind to people of Asian descent.
That's because it's written by a couple of libertarians. Well,
they're not libertarians. They're liberty leaning.
Okay.
All right. Well, I mean, how have they? All right. I'm going to go ahead and call them libertarians, but one
of them will say that he's a libertarian. The other one won't.
Okay.
So. I mean, if they won't call themselves libertarians, then I'm certainly not going to call them that.
That's a good place to go. Then again, there are lots of libertarians that won't call themselves libertarians, so
true.
Fine. When you say it's not kind to Asians, what does that mean? Because anything that I've seen, I don't know.
That episode.
You're not wrong. It's not kind to people in general.
It's not kind to people. So if it's
but there are white people in South Park in the television show who are not just. I don't know how to put it.
Racial stereotypes?
Yes.
Okay.
And the Chinese guy, the owner of China Walk, is exactly that.
That's racial stereotype.
Yes.
Okay.
And so was the Japanese guy. I'm not aware of them ever actually having very many Asian characters within the show who, acted like normal human beings.
This is one of the problems sort of with generally creating your art is you may not be thinking about race when you create your art.
Right.
But other people are. And what's that mean for your art? Is it, is it Caucasocentric? I don't know, but obviously it hasn't harmed the South Park brand too much. I haven't considered this. But okay, I'll take your word for it.
Well, certainly, I don't think they're racist.
Apu in Simpsons is, he's a racial stereotype. Not the cruelest stereotype I've ever seen or anything. You've got an industrious guy that wants to make sure nobody fools around in his convenience store.
Sure.
So, okay. It's difficult to imagine that one could trot out too many cruel racial stereotypes for Asian Americans. I don't even know of any. I mean, I've heard of cruel terms.
They generally don't target like Asian Americans. It's usually Chinese people and then Japanese people. Like the Japanese guy who was on there ended up, jumping off a tower, killing himself. And they point out in the episode that, they hang lampshades on it is the phrase. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're racist by any means. It's just how it ends up being portrayed.
I see. It's kamikaze behavior. Is the guy jumping off of the roof?
Well, he kills himself to protect his honor or something like that. Or he was going to because he mistook a white guy for a Chinese guy. And It's a typical South Park episode,
I see.
really.
Okay.
Except it focuses on Chinese people and Japanese people.
Couldn't it be pointing out that, the way I would see that is that the idea of, honor suicide is nonsense, and it's an old Japanese concept. Not to say that it's just Japanese, but it's an old concept for Japanese folks and probably should be abandoned. Like, we all make mistakes. You don't need to kill yourself over it.
I would agree.
Yeah. Well, I thought they did that with a sword. I didn't realize they'd jump off a building.
That would be a samurai, but I suppose that we're just that's what they're lampooning. I don't know.
Well, there was a sword involved. I don't remember the episode 100% off the top of my head. I think he was going to do that, and then he fell off or something like that. I don't remember exactly what, but there was a sword involved.
Mm-hmm.
It was going back to that seppuku committing tendency, in quotes, among the Japanese.
And I don't care what they say, Last Samurai is still a great movie, except for that whole throwing the sword part.
What
Last
movie?
Samurai, are you not familiar with it? Tom Cruise movie. He's a Civil War captain or something. Not Civil War. He's actually the Indian Wars captain from the military. Ends up, sort of getting sent over to Japan to teach the savages how to get to war in a civilized fashion. And he ends up getting captured by the samurai who were fighting, like on horses with pointy sticks, and gets captured and sort of, comes to see the society and sees the value in it and these kind of things, turns sides, and then they all die in one blaze of glory. Spoiler warning, I don't care. It's a 20-year-old movie.
Interesting. I might have to watch it then.
That was awesome. I've got it. I think I have it on DVD too, so you could borrow it that way.
Well, I'm sure it's on Netflix or Hulu, or if not, it's on the Pirate Bay. So I will go with that.
It's hurtful.
I'm sorry, Mark. So in a case of life imitating art, according to Reason.com, the Chinese government has purged all references to South Park from the country's highly restricted internet, following an episode of the show that criticized Chinese censorship, which happened to be called Banned in China.
So they banned in China.
Yes.
And then the rest of South Park.
So the second episode of the show's 23rd season satirizes China's heavy-handed crackdowns on free expression. The kids attempt to make a biopic about their new rock band, only to discover that they need to sanitize the plot to appease the Chinese government. Meanwhile, Randy Marsh gets sent to a Chinese prison where he meets Winnie the Pooh, a reference to China's odd attempts to clamp down on the beloved bear. There's a link here. I'm really tempted to click that link for its supposed resemblance to Chinese President Xi Jinping.
Xi Jinping, yeah.
Yeah. The episode also castigates Disney for making artistic concessions in order to remain in Chinese markets. You got to lower your ideals of freedom if you want to suck on the warm teat of China, one character says.
Yep.
I have a real problem with this generally, and it's not the first go-around for American businesses doing this kind of thing. It's yucky. It's yucky that the United States government would do business with Saudi Arabia, a place with a king. It's yucky that democracies generally, or republics, or whatever terminology one wishes to use. By the way, North Korea calls itself a republic. Would put up with this. So I think that many people have to step to the plate, or we're just going to get more of the same.
I'm not happy to see businesses doing business in with these oppressive regimes, and I am happy to see it getting called out.
Well, wasn't there the Chinese, not Chinese, the Google workers who refused to work on the Google search engine that was going to be used in China, the censored version of Google, basically, and they refused to do it.
And so
more of that would be great. But I'm sure Google will find somebody who's willing to do it. I mean, it's just a matter of money for them.
Yeah,
and that's kind of the tragedy. Those sort of principle stands, they really only work if everybody, or at least most people, get on board with those principle stands. And it seems like when there's money involved, they're just not going to.
Nope.
Like Disney changing things in order to remain in the Chinese markets. And all this other nonsense. What do you think about South Park and Chinese censorship? Give us a call, 855-450-3733. That's 855-450-FREE as in Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at marketfreetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. Marketfreetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, marketfreetalklive.com.
Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Warning, this is a privacy alert. You are being spied on right now as I speak by your phone. If you want this to stop, visit GoDarkBags.com and we'll show you how elite military units protect themselves and how you can too. GoDark Bags are lab tested and guaranteed for life. Visit GoDarkBags.com now and enter discount code FTL to save 15%. That's GoDarkBags.com. Discount code FTL. Your privacy depends on it. End transmission.
It's the Onion Radio News. The nation's last remaining themeless restaurant has closed. This is Doyle Redland reporting. A once vibrant era came to an end today when Pat's Place, the nation's last themeless restaurant, closed its doors in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. During the heyday of themeless restaurants, Pat's Place achieved a certain amount of notoriety for its unique non-themed food items and unadorned atmosphere. But according to owner Patrick Baines, the times have changed.
Lately, we've had only a handful of people coming in to gawk at our posterless walls and mundanely named menu items like hamburgers or pancakes, and then they go someplace like the Rainforest Cafe or Johnny Rockets to actually eat.
Plans are now in the works to convert the Pat's Place location into Cedar Rapids' 7th Patty-O Touchdown sports bar and good time internet grill. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
This is the Onion News Network.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria,
Michael,
and Mark.
And Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, which allows people to buy and sell Bitcoin Cash using dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, It's really awesome and very flexible in how many payment methods they accept and how you out there listening can go and buy Bitcoin Cash from someone who might even be in the same city that you're in by meeting them in person with cash. It's really awesome. There's no KYC requirement, no know your customer requirement, that is. So you don't have to present your ID in order to buy and sell. A specific trader might require that, but the site itself doesn't.
That's up to them.
Yes, so go check it out. All communications between the buyers and sellers are encrypted. It's a non-custodial exchange, so you always control your cryptocurrency. It's never controlled by local.bitcoin.com.
As it should be.
It's an awesome site. I would highly recommend people check it out. Again, that's local.bitcoin.com. Now, we've been talking about South Park, which has always been one of my favorite shows because they are really thoughtful in how they portray issues. Like, I don't remember what season it was, maybe 19 or 20, but they tackled the trans issue. And they did it so awesomely that a lot of people got butthurt, obviously, but a lot of people were going to get butthurt regardless. I mean, they ended up defining a cis person as a sissy, which was a cisgender person who got upset about trans people using one particular restroom or the other. They were sissies.
I see.
So that was interesting. The South Park video game, The Fractured But Whole, actually gives you the option of playing as a trans character. And it's handled delicately, but humorously. So good on them for that.
Well, yeah, I don't even know where to address these things.
Yeah. So they recently...
There's some things they're not delicate with, right? Like, say the Book of Mormon, perhaps not as delicate as it could be, but maybe they don't care about that.
Well, they also treated the gay issue pretty delicately. And they get called transphobic a lot because of Mr. Garrison having the sex change and then going back to being Mr. Garrison. I don't know if you missed that entire arc or not. I don't know how regularly you watch the show.
I haven't watched that. Yeah, I haven't watched the show regularly. When I've watched it, it was enjoyable. When I did watch it more regularly, they were still killing Kenny every episode as opposed to...
oh, yeah, that doesn't happen anymore.
No, yeah.
So they criticized the Chinese government recently and its heavy-handed censorship policies, and now those very same government censors in the real world have lashed back at South Park by deleting virtually every clip, episode, and online discussion of the show from Chinese streaming services, social media, and even fan pages.
Must not be a big... they must not have a lot of fans because trying to get rid of all that stuff in English would be a Herculean task.
Yeah, well, the thing is, China has an extraordinary level of control over what people can see on their little version of the internet.
Yes.
Yeah, that's disappointing. A cursory perusal through China's highly regulated internet landscape shows the show conspicuously absent everywhere it recently had a presence. A search of Twitter-like service Weibo, which is one of the ways that the Chinese government maintains its control over its internet, is by having a Twitter-like service for the Chinese people. It turns up not a single mention of South Park among the billions of past posts. On streaming service Youku, owned by internet giant Alibaba, all links to clips, episodes, and even full seasons of the show are now dead.
This is a memory hole right there.
Yeah, that's what it does. That's the whole definition.
Yep. Well, let's get to the phones. We got Thomas calling in from Jackson. Thomas, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hi, this is Travis.
Hi, Travis.
Okay. Hi, Travis.
Hi, how you guys doing today? So I was going to talk about Bitcoin. Back in 2013, I wrote a book on Bitcoin, and I was going to talk about Bitcoin, but I hear Ari's on the show, so instead I'll talk about trans issues. Is that okay?
Sure.
Okay, well, here's the way I look at it, okay? The Democratic Party has always been about helping impoverished people. That's originally what the Democratic Party was about. Somewhere along the line, it started to turn into advocacy for homosexuals. Homosexuals are about 4% of the population, and transgender people. Transgenders are about 0.5% of the population. So, I mean, this is the Democrats' priorities to help these folks out. Which, I mean, I don't have a problem with trans people. I don't have a problem if you want to wear whatever you want to. That's none of my business. And I think the people who attack trans people and obsess over them are weirder than the trans people. So,
do you think those
when you
people
get
that
to
attack them and obsess over them, do you think that they're likely in a particular political party in the U.S.?
Well, undoubtedly, probably Republican.
That's what my thought is. And this is like more that the Republicans are that trans people would perceive the Republicans to be against them than the Democrats being for them is, I think, what the problem is. It's, I mean, of course they're going to go where they've got a home. Anybody would do that. I've got lots of gay friends that vote Democrat, and the reason they vote Democrat is because they don't feel comfortable with Republicans disliking them and telling them that their lives are sinful.
Well, Mark, do you think that the leaders of the Democratic Party honestly care about homosexuals?
No.
Absolutely not.
Aria, what do you think?
I mean, we're not Democrats here.
No, but go ahead. Answer the question, though, Aria. Do you think that leaders of the Democratic Party actually care about trans or homosexual people?
No, rulers don't care about anyone but themselves.
It's just a means to an end, and the end is more power.
Yeah. Well, here's my position on it. Okay, I have no problem with trans people whatsoever. It's just this is the Democratic Party's. It's one of their top priorities. Now, if you look at their history, they've always been about helping the lowest class. So one would deduce and one would think that they would help out the lowest class, which would be homeless people. There are 550,000 homeless people, Americans sleeping on the streets, walking around on the streets, homeless vets, and a lot of homeless trans people too. And I don't understand why the Democrats don't talk about this, because if they want to actually help out the lowest class, you would think they would help the people out that were homeless. And the priorities make absolutely no sense. And
I suspect the people that they want to help out vote, and homeless people tend not to.
I just read a statistic the other day, a headline actually, that something like half of all homeless people are in California and one other state. I don't recall the exact number, but they benefit, the Democrats benefit from having a homeless problem that they can promise to solve. They don't benefit from solving the problem.
Yeah.
I think that a part of this, as a Republican myself, and I got to pick between the two parties in order to have somebody to vote for in the primary, so I'll go ahead and pick the Republicans. As a Republican, I will say the Republicans have failed time and again to be inclusive. What they say over and over again is, we've got our principles, and if you stick by our principles, that's great. Well, some of their principles, whether they like it or not, have to do with sort of antiquated religions that vilify people of particular groups, i.e. homosexuals. It doesn't say anything about trans people, but you can believe that there's certain plenty of Christians in America that'll call them freaks, just for kicks.
855-450-3733. Travis, thanks for the call.
Do you have a crypto wealth advisor or coach? If so, has your cryptocurrency advisor been investing in technology stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years with experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Hey guys, Mark Claire here, lionsofliberty.com, where we strive to advance the ideas of liberty daily. We bring you the Morning Roar! That's right, every Monday to Friday we'll have a brand new edition of the Morning Roar, where we provide a roundup of some news stories that you may not find in the mainstream media or even in your typical social media newsfeed. We find stories that relate to the ideas of liberty and provide you with our liberty perspective on them. Every Monday, we have our longest-running feature, Mondays with Murray, named after the great libertarian Murray Rothbard, where we'll examine an article or an excerpt from his works and help convey his view, along with our little spin as well. We wrap it all up every Friday with Felony Friday, where our own John Odermatt goes out and takes a look at some sort of felony. There's felonies committed every day, you know, whether it's a felony committed by the police, a politician, or even an average citizen. You can find all of this and so much more over at lionsofliberty.com. Advancing the ideas of liberty daily.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever you'd like. That number is 855-450-3733. Again, that's 855-450-FREE, as in Free Talk Live. And with you tonight, it's Aria,
Michael,
and Mark.
And unfortunately, there's not much more to get out of that South Park Chinese censorship story. I mean, it's the Chinese government doing what they do.
It's like the Chinese government doesn't even want to say anything about it.
Yeah, and South Park doing what they do, and the two are simply not compatible.
Pretty much.
South Park isn't compatible with a lot of things.
That's true. So, moving on, there's a story about priests possibly being allowed by the Catholic Church to get married.
Yeah, sort of.
Sort of.
Yeah, This is from the Daily Beast, so, you know, I'm a little ashamed to say, but yeah, this is where I got the article, and it's a fine article. Here from Barbie Latza Nadeau, and it says the Pope could soon say I do to married priests and open a schism. A group of hand-picked clerics meeting in Rome.
So priests marrying women and not each other?
Correct.
Okay.
I don't think they're ready for that.
Give it another 3,000 or 4,000
I think they're probably
years.
more ready for that than they are priests marrying outside of the church, based on Catholic history and, you know, what typically happened at monasteries throughout the Middle Ages.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
They were hotbeds of homosexuality.
We don't talk about that.
Okay.
So I think that is part of all of it. When they made celibacy a thing, and largely they did it to prevent priests from handing down their parishes to their sons, and, you know, in the manner that kings hand down kingdoms.
Well, that failed spectacularly. I mean, it was just an open secret. Oh, he's the bishop's favorite. He's the cardinal's favorite. And everyone knew that it was the cardinal's son. It was the bishop's son.
I think that it worked over the course of 1,000 years. It's not happening now. Sure,
Okay.
There's some of that, but this was the purpose, the reason it was instituted, and failure or success, that was the reason. I think one of the results is what we have going on now, where priests were, at least for some period of time, touching boys when they shouldn't be, because people who have sexual deviancies thought that they could escape to the church and that somehow it would fix their demons, as opposed to, I don't know, some good old-fashioned psychoanalysis. And I guess it's not old-fashioned. Psychoanalysis new compared to the church.
See, I tend to think about it just in terms of human behavior. I mean, humans are sexual creatures, for better or worse.
Sure.
So when you deny them that, they start to get antsy.
Yeah, well, it causes problems. I would think that you would have... Right. I don't think there's any real good reason to keep priests celibate today, and that you would have far fewer problems if you would allow people that, wanted to get married to be a priest. And let's go on with the story before we go, with our conjecture here. Rome, in October 2017, when Pope Francis announced a Vatican synod in the Amazon region to identify new paths for the evangelization of God's people in that region, few people beyond those who had to attend marked it on their calendars. But over the course of the last 2 years, as the church prepared for the synod, which will run from October 6th, that's yesterday,
Now, what is this?
It's a meeting.
Okay.
To the 27th in Rome, it's become clear that there may be no more important meeting in Francis's entire papacy. One item among the 146 topics on the agenda listed. Oh, this is going to be a blast.
They've been planning this for 2 years. Of course, there's 146 items.
They don't do this yearly or
no,
bi-monthly?
This is a special meeting of getting everybody there to talk about this one thing, and we're going to hash it out.
Okay.
So
146 different issues. Okay.
Listed in a 45-page working document. Has eclipsed all others.
If the Catholic Church doesn't condone suicide, then driving people into these sorts of meetings where there are 146 issues for a bunch of people to bicker about seems counterproductive.
The church is known for this stuff. All you have to do is read early Christianity. My favorite is that St. Nicholas, Santa Claus, punched a dude named Arius in the face when talking about a particular at a particular meeting.
Fun note: South Park lampooned this sort of behavior as well.
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Ultimately, revealing that it was like a giant spider or something like that overseeing the whole Catholic Church, and they were going to allow alien Catholics. Typically ridiculous stuff.
Yes. So, including the Pope's focus on climate change and poverty. The point is whether or not to allow married viri probati, men of proven virtue, to be ordained as priests for the purpose of delivering the big sacraments, baptism, confession, weddings, and funerals, in far-flung areas where no priests are currently present. Now, why are there no priests present? Because nobody wants to join your stupid job where not having sex is part of the gig.
Yeah, I wouldn't take a job like that.
That there's plenty of preachers, right? I mean, America's lousy with preachers. There's probably more preachers than there are churches because, they got things, whatever. And if
I believe it,
this is the one thing. Now, obviously, there are aspects of these different denominations that people would have to get over or whatever, but the Protestants and the evangelicals, they're not suffering for a lack of preachermen.
Oh, no, they're certainly not.
So the one difference here is basically the church's prohibition on marriage.
The Catholic Church.
The Catholic Church, yeah. So there's a solution for you, ladies and gentlemen.
I don't know enough about Catholicism because I'm from the Protestant tradition, Southern Baptist particularly. Mm-hmm. So I'm, familiar with the idea of pastors. They don't call them priests in other denominations of Christianity. Priest is
very few.
Specifically Christianity, and I think maybe some of those weirder branches like Pentecostals perhaps and Presbyterians.
No, I don't think they call them priests in Presbyterian may, because that is basically Anglican, and that's the one I was thinking of. I was married Anglican.
Okay.
So my wife and I had our marriage ceremony at an Anglican church that broadcast my radio station out of a closet in the back. So
Anglican is a church?
Yeah, Anglican is what basically the Episcopal are. I said Presbyterian. You said Presbyterian. I meant Episcopal. Excuse me.
Interesting. There's so many denominations of Christianity, which
and
is
they
fascinating.
all have their little quibble with the rest of them.
Yes, of course they do. And they all claim to be heralds of the absolute, unquestionable truth, which it makes it fun when you're on the outside looking in and you've got 50,000 different people arguing with each other and every one of them saying that they speak directly to the creator of the universe and they know the answer.
Some of them will be so generous as to say that some of the others will go to heaven even though they're not their particular brand of Christianity. But others aren't quite so generous.
Yeah, the Baptists and the Methodists, at least in the American South, tend to get along reasonably well.
In the book A River Runs Through It, they define the minister in there, who is, I believe, Presbyterian, defines Methodists as Baptists who can read.
They're not killing each other anymore.
No. Well, Baptists and Methodists, all of them, interesting schisms, important issues I felt that were brought up, and these sorts of things. But, once the schisms happened, 10 years out, the church is, as far as I'm concerned, that denomination's done.
I would agree.
So
they certainly have no absence of preachers and pastors and whatever we'd like to call them, but the Catholic Church evidently does. Is that the general contention here?
What's the question? I'm sorry?
That the Catholic Church has an issue finding priests.
Yes.
Interesting. Is that like a documented fact or is that just, okay. Yeah, well, I mean, you raised an excellent point. Who wants to enter into a typically low-paying career wherein they can't have sex, ever?
Most people don't want to do this.
It's not a particularly enticing thing, so they have to really feel like they're being called by God, or whatever terminology they would like to use, in order to step into that career path.
Maybe they should just find 50-year-old men who are married.
It would be easier.
Yeah.
And there would be fewer child rapists in the church.
And they're not having sex either.
855-450-3733.
Anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Sling bow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of sling bow. A new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, the inventor of MyPillow, and like all of you out there, I had problems sleeping. Pillows would go flat, I would flip-flop all night long, I would wake up with a sore neck, maybe a headache, or feel like I needed a nap even though I slept 8 hours. When I invented MyPillow, I wanted it to where you could move the patented fill to give you the exact support you need as an individual, regardless of sleep position. MyPillow will get you into that deep REM sleep faster, and you will stay there longer. It's not about how much time we spend in bed, it's about how much of that quality sleep we get. I do all of my own manufacturing right here in the United States. I have a 10-year warranty. You can wash and dry my pillow, and I give you a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to lose. And here's my best offer ever. You can buy one of my pillows and get one absolutely free.
Go to mypillow.com or call 800-870-0305 and use promo code GCN. That's mypillow.com or 800-870-0305 with promo code GCN.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Don't you hate that feeling in the pit of your stomach when the police pull you over? Most people have no idea how to handle it properly, and they promptly get fed into the municipal fee-generating meat grinder. Or maybe you recall that feeling you get when you go to the mailbox and see one or more letters from the IRS. You get a sense of impending doom, don't you? So let me ask you, if you could learn how to use the law to beat the IRS, traffic tickets, almost any courtroom scenario, collectors, credit card debt, and even mortgage debt because of fraud perpetrated against you, would that be worth knowing about? Don't laugh. Investigate. Check out the life-changing benefits of the Lighthouse Law Club at their website, lighthouselaw.club. That's lighthouselaw.club. And while you're at it, visit the Lighthouse Law Club YouTube channel. You might be in for a pleasant surprise.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
My name is Jacob Hornberger. I'm president of the Future of Freedom Foundation, which Congressman Ron Paul awarded for having an outstanding freedom website. Write us at fff@fff.org, and we'll send you a free 3-month subscription to our monthly journal of libertarian essays and our booklet, Economic Liberty in the Constitution, which George Mason University economics professor Walter Williams praised in a recent column. That's fff@fff.org.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria,
Michael,
and Mark. Have you heard of Divvy? Divvy is crypto made easy. Anyone can use Divvy to securely and seamlessly spend, earn, store, or exchange digital money, the United States dollar, and even euros. Divvy is fast. Transactions happen in seconds with fewer fees. While other tokens are languishing, the Divvy's token price has increased by 300%. All the details are at divvyproject.org. The new Divvy mobile wallet is soon to launch, and when it does, because of Divvy's relationship with Western Union, Divvy will be in 200 countries, including the United States. Anyone can use the Divvy mobile wallet, and all you need is a phone number and an ID. You'll be able to store, buy, and transmit money anywhere in the world. Because Divvy has invested in a remittance company, there's no chance of these financial services going away. You'll be able to get a crypto debit card, plus Divvy has one-click masternodes. Visit divvyproject.org. Divvy is crypto made easy. Again, it's divvyproject.org.
Very cool. So what are your thoughts on Catholic priests and whether or not they should finally be allowed to get married like ordinary human beings tend to do? 855-450-3733. Let's get back into the article because evidently the conservatives in the Catholic Church are not particularly happy about this possibility.
This is only 1,000 years overdue.
Well, the celibacy is only 1,000 years old in the church too, right? It's not like preachers or priests or whatever that version was back then, like for the first 1,000 years of the church, and it's only been around for 2,000 years. Priests could marry, priests could have kids, because the Bible doesn't say anything about people needing to be celibate in order to be preacher men.
No, but it does suggest that the person who leads the church is going to be infallible. It doesn't explicitly state it, but it says, as you make it on earth, so shall I make it in heaven, or something to that effect, which is generally interpreted in that direction. I don't know how accurate that interpretation is.
So no sex in heaven?
I don't know.
No sex for the Pope?
It reminds me of a joke that I heard a long time ago about this guy who died, and he ended up getting sent down to hell, and he partied and played golf with his friends and had some drinks, and it was great. And then the next day they went to heaven, and he floated around on clouds singing hymns and stuff. And then they asked him, well, which one do you want to spend your eternity in? And he chose hell. And he gets down there and it's torture and all that. And the joke is, oh, well, yesterday we were campaigning, today you voted.
Yeah.
But what I've always found interesting about it is the differences in the descriptions. Like, he describes hell as something that's actually enjoyable, and he described heaven as being just absolutely tedious.
I think that these are interesting old ideas. Christianity, one of the things that really did sell was that that the life after death is good, and that a connection to God is something that the average person can have. No religion up to that point really had provided that. Usually life after death was just seen as something bad. And although today we may not really like the notion of what heaven might be like, it was superior to the idea of Hades or something. So that the ideas that were floating around then. I just think that to me, the idea that a fair, just, and loving God is going to send one of his children to burn for all of eternity for making some kind of mistake doesn't jibe with my understanding of God creating us in his own image.
Yeah, and it doesn't jive with a basic understanding of morality or anything like that. I mean, we're talking about an infinite punishment for what was, by definition, a finite crime. It's absurd on the face, right? And they want
makes sense, yeah.
They want to characterize the God that prescribes that as being just.
And, for a Bronze Age, sheep herder, sure. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Fine.
The one who's out there in the fields probably not sinning in the first place. Right. Sure.
Well, long nights with those sheep.
Yeah, the sheep don't talk.
That's not a sin. It wasn't mentioned. Bishop Rafael Cobb, an apostolic vicar of Puyo, Ecuador, who will be attending the synod in Rome, said that the church must respond to a concrete challenge in concrete reality. The Amazon is a geographically difficult region to evangelize just because of its distance and inaccessibility, he told reporters at a press conference in Rome. But there's also a lack of candidates who can or want to be priests with the issue of celibacy. So logically, the church is looking for new methods to respond to concrete challenges.
I get it. From the Catholic Church point of view, that's like, well, I like God a lot, but I also like sex. And you're making me pick between the two.
Sure. And, a married guy it's not a problem. I mean, the Bible said something about the marriage bed can't be defiled. Something to that effect. So there's nothing wrong in my mind with a married priest. And as a matter of fact, the Catholic Church does allow a married priest, but it's under very limited circumstances. So
interesting.
Right. If a Anglican or Episcopal priest decides that he wants to go Catholic, but is married, that person may switch over to being a Catholic priest who is then married, but if the wife dies, then he may not marry again.
I mean, this sounds like a solution to the problem of the people in the Amazon, I think it was that you said, or Brazil or whatever, who want to, be priests.
It's a workaround.
Start out as some other denomination of Christianity.
No, it's only the Anglicans and the Episcopals.
Oh.
So maybe the Catholic Church could set up this disingenuous recruiting method for getting people to go through these, types and.
Well, as far as the Catholic Church's sins goes, that sort of disingenuous recruiting would be pretty low on their black page.
They're running a marketing campaign, and they're trying to be really super good these days. And, we're not chopping off people's Jews' heads anymore, and, all those things. We put all that stuff behind us.
The Spanish Inquisition, the Salem witch trials, all of that is behind us.
Nobody expects it. So now the idea is that, I think they should. I think they should just go ahead, instead of, making things surreptitious and weird, let's just say, this is fine. We can accept this. Or maybe you have a different designation of priest. Whatever that means, like
married priest, unmarried priest.
Right, but there's probably some other term,
Right.
Super holy priest.
I'm with you
super
entirely.
Duper holy priest.
The being unmarried, not being allowed to engage in sex, it's clearly historically been a problem for the Catholic Church. You get rid of this outdated policy that, is doing significantly more harm than whatever good they envision it to be doing.
The Catholic Church, though, is extraordinarily conservative. It takes them centuries to do anything.
It took them 2 years to put this meeting together.
Yeah, it's because they put 146 freaking things on the meeting agenda, and they're like, oh no, we only got through 3 of the things because the Irish Catholics killed all of the South American Catholics. Well, not killed literally, but they stormed out or whatever. As people do.
Getting people to, they got to get these priests to show up to these events, and these priests have actual work to do down wherever they are. Presumably, every priest has a full week's work in every parish they're in, and then when these guys come up, the bishops and that sort of thing, presumably they have a full week's work. They have to drop everything to go for a 3-week meeting in the Vatican to chit-chat about 45 different things, apparently the most important of which is whether or not the message of Christianity can be spread to the heathens in the Amazon jungle, and if so, can we have that done by married men as opposed to it just doesn't make any sense.
No, that's not a particularly pressing issue, I wouldn't think. Do we have any idea what other issues are on their little agenda?
No, I don't. I didn't look it up because I'm not interested. I'm not Catholic, and this isn't interesting to me. What's most interesting to me about the Catholic Church is that its existence as an organization longer than really anything else on the planet. I can't think of another organization that's lasted as long as the Catholic Church has. And to me, that's interesting. To me, they should change this one thing and that they could solve a bevy of sins if they did it. Yeah. And that's my little, here I am, somebody that you don't want to listen to out here just saying, hey, from the outside, this looks dumb.
It seems to look dumb from the inside as well if what these, priests are aiming for is actually going to come to fruition. Hopefully the Catholic Church actually comes to agreement and decides, hey, the simplest thing to do here is to just let our priests get married.
American Cardinal Raymond Burke has a problem with it.
Oh, well, we have to hear more about that. 855-450-3733. Do you have a problem with it? Give us a call and let us know, or use the Discord server, which you can find at discord.lrn.fm.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all the major cryptocurrencies to Edge wallet, and you should too. No long phrases to memorize, just a username and password. Secure your freedom with Edge wallet. Get it now on Apple or Android in the App Store or at edge.app. Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next, after the news, here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for Liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,493. silver at $17.43, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,210. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at InnoScale.net. In the news, the Chinese government continues its Orwellian practices with the announcement that citizens will have to use facial recognition technology to access the internet. The Mind Unleashed reports that it's all part of China's social credit system that will take effect December 1st. After the law goes into effect, Chinese citizens who want to have the internet installed at their homes or on their smartphones will be required to undergo a facial recognition process by the Chinese authority to prove their identities. This is significant because now the Chinese government will use the internet to rate citizens based on their daily behavior online. Since 2015, Chinese citizens have been required to show their ID cards while applying for a landline or the internet. The new law is put in place to verify that the ID belongs to the person applying for the services. The new law was published on the Chinese Ministry of Industry and Information Technology website and distributed to all Chinese telecom carriers on September 27th. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. On September 30th, the FBI issued a press release noting they published their 2018 crime statistics. Activist Post reports that most notable about the report is the fact that despite constant fear-mongering by the mainstream media and the government that crime is running rampant, the number of violent crimes decreased 3.3% as compared to the previous year. Also contained in the report were the numbers and causes of deaths in murder cases. Although the FBI did not make the comparison themselves, when reading the data, it's shown that the number of murders carried out with knives or cutting devices was 5 times higher than the number of murders carried out with rifles. The comparison is particularly important given the current gun climate in America. It's also important to mention that handguns were responsible for the majority of firearms deaths. It's also important to point out that all firearms deaths combined made up the majority of all murders in the United States. Of the 14,123 murders in 2018, 10,265 of them involved firearms. A former NYPD cop was acquitted on felony child rape and sex abuse charges this month, despite filming the interactions with the 15-year-old victim himself. Instead of going to jail for years, the cop will likely escape any actual accountability. According to the Free Thought Project, the ex-NYPD police officer, Raul Almeida, was accused of recording his sexual encounters with the 15-year-old girl on at least 5 occasions. The facts were indisputable, yet Almeida was acquitted. Instead of facing the time in prison for the felony rape charges, Almeida was convicted of 2 petty misdemeanors of official misconduct and witness tampering. The witness tampering stems from the fact that Almeida told the girl not to testify against him in court. The official misconduct charge was brought on after he was caught accessing NYPD computers to see what evidence Internal Affairs had against him. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Florida officials announced today its plan to experiment with new 600-lever voting machines.
The machine operates through a very straightforward process that we think is going to give Floridians the peace of mind that their votes will be counted. The voter turns on the machine using these 30 levers at the top and then enters their names and social security numbers using the alphanumeric levers near the bottom here. Right about now, the voter's going to have to find the two levers on the machine that are exactly identical and pull them at the same time. Then they're going to have to...
The new 22-foot-tall steam-powered machines, which officials are hailing as, quote, the future of voting, each feature over 45 separate panels of levers, along with an intricate series of valves, knobs, cranks, and pumps, all designed to streamline the electoral process.
Now, some of this may seem confusing, but every voter will be given a comprehensive 2,200-page manual when they enter their precinct that will explain exactly what to do.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. So call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number is 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria,
Michael,
and Mark.
And we've been talking about the Catholic Church and Christianity, more specifically in general, which has a long and robust history, including lots of good things that the church in general has done and lots of bad things. Now, I'm not particularly in the interest. It doesn't interest me to weigh the good they've done against the bad they've done. I can recognize both. I don't want to act like I'm some sort of, deity out here weighing their good against their bad. It's just a mixed history.
Yeah, I would agree with that statement. I think that Western civilization without Christianity would be a very different thing. That when people claim to be a Christian, they probably should know the history of the church, especially early on. Well, I guess let me back
the
that
Council of Nicaea or Nicaea.
Let's even go back a bit further than that. But yeah, I think what's
the Council of Trent, is that what I'm thinking of?
Any one of those, I wouldn't be able to tell you what any one of those were, but what I'm saying is
the Council of Nicaea was the one that decided whether or not Jesus was divine.
Correct.
Okay.
That I believe to be the truth. I'd have to look up on Trent. I don't know. Yeah. I can't go any further than that. But I can say this: that often there's a classification of mind out there, a way of thinking that says, let's go back to the original thing in order to find out what the word or the term or the idea is. Right? Libertarians tend to be this sort. All right.
So do constitutionalists.
Well, constitutionalists are libertarians that haven't quite got it all together yet. And
yeah, except they're not fans of the First Amendment. Like, I was shocked to learn that the Constitutionalist Party actually enshrines in its charter, or whatever the term would be, that the United States is a Christian country founded on the ideas of Christianity.
Wait, now we all know that's not true.
Yes, but
where are they getting this from?
The Constitutionalists don't know that.
Did they not read the Constitution?
They evidently did not, or the Treaty of Tripoli, which was, I think, 1781.
Right, with Adams. I think it would be later than that. Tripoli? I think Tripoli is a little bit later. Anyway, they're very clear on that it is not a Christian nation. But I think that it depends on how you decide to determine those ideas. The idea that one would come down one side or the other on the issue kind of shows what their thought process is. I choose not to come down on either side of that particular issue, but I'm here attempting to hold the people that do come down on the side of that issue accountable, whatever the side might be. So
I got to be honest, I did not parse all that.
Okay, so
which issue?
To say that whether or not the United States is a Christian country. Okay. I think that there's an argument for it being a Christian nation, and I think there's an argument against it.
I would say it's a nation largely of Christians, but it's not a Christian nation.
And the people who founded it.
It's a warmongering nation. If it's founded on Christianity, then I'm Jesus freaking Christ.
Christianity perpetrated the Crusades, war.
They did, but it's counter to everything Christ said.
Well, Christianity changed its role at about 1,000 years in and said, well, let's go for this war stuff. And
the power of the state
what
is
you're
tempting,
doing is
and the
you're
Catholic
saying
Church became its own state.
You're saying that Christianity's roots as a pacifist religion define what Christianity is, and that is a libertarian thing to do. It's like that mindset, right?
Right.
So going back to the mindset of what is Christianity, one would think that you could go back in Christianity to say, 50 AD and say, all right, what is Christianity?
Well, you'd have to write off what Paul said in a lot of cases, because he was the one who founded the Catholic Church for the most part. I mean, he was generally regarded as the first pope or whatever. But
No,
he
that's
was
Peter.
Okay.
Peter's regarded as the first pope. What's interesting
But it was
there,
Paul who, in practice.
Yes.
And that's the issue I have with it. Peter was supposed to be, and based on the fact that we have nothing written by Peter, as far as I'm aware.
There's Bible books that are called First and Second Peter, but that doesn't whether the veracity of any of these people writing. Many of the epistles of Paul may not have been written by Paul, and it gets very complicated. I think what's most interesting is that Paul meets with James, who becomes, who's really nothing in the Gospels, but then he's the brother of Christ. And we presume that means actually the brother of Jesus Christ, the son of Mary.
Well, half brother.
Well, yeah, however you want to call it. And
evidently, we're told they had different daddies.
That James and Peter and these sorts of people meet with Paul. The idea being that we're going to say, hey, look. Christianity is a Judaistic sect, and people who want to convert need to eat kosher and have their parts snipped, right? So then...
well, they got half of that.
They don't eat kosher? Oh, I see. Thank Kellogg and Graham for that.
Yeah, that's mostly an American thing, though.
Right. So Paul says, no. You people who claim to have who know Jesus, didn't know Jesus like I knew Jesus, because Jesus appeared to me in a vision, so I knew the God Jesus. You know the man Jesus. And
who said this?
Paul.
I'm not surprised.
To Jesus's brother. I mean, the hubris of this huckster knew no bounds. Yeah. I mean, he is the greatest con man that ever lived. The idea that this guy created out of whole cloth a religion that was had no resemblance to who Jesus was. And the idea that he created this is fascinating. But to find out what a Christian is, if you go, say, 100 AD or something like that, there's not one thing you can even say. The few things that I said, that talking about there being sort of this positive relationship to the afterlife, and that the average person could commune directly with God. The church basically took that away at some point. But
because for them it was all about power. They wanted to act as intermediaries between God and the people, so they put themselves there and said this is the way it actually is. That's why they didn't want the Bible translated into English and kept it in Latin, and killed people for trying to translate it into English, so the average person, even though the average person couldn't even read back then, was capable of actually understanding what was being fed to them.
But the church fathers for 300 years more fought physically, in many cases, each other over doctrinal disputes, like what should people be eating, should there, all kinds of things, that aspects of Christianity. I think the most important of which is Jesus a prophet, or is he actually a God, and sort of the Trinity and how that looks, and these kind of things. And this is one of the things where I believe Islam is it can very much lay a claim to being being a denomination of Christianity, because what it claims is...
I would tend to agree.
Right. It claims they're Unitarians versus Trinitarians, and lots of that going on in early Christianity. Secondly, they're... they say that Jesus is a prophet, right. And now the reference for Jesus, I suspect, has gone down over time, probably because of the conflicts with the church. It's like, hey, we don't like this guy anymore. But I think that the roots of Islam really are as a Christian denomination. But I know a lot of people don't agree with me on that. Anyway, I want to go on with this article where we're talking about, because I do love talking about church history, and I think it's fascinating.
Man,
I love
too.
learning about it. Lots of good stuff on YouTube. You can go looking at it. All right, about priests getting the ability to marry, with here from the Daily Beast article, but a phalanx of conservative Catholic clerics, led by American Cardinal Raymond Burke and a host of other traditionalists, are ready to demand the resignation of the Pope if he signs off on such a heretical matter. By allowing married men to become priests in remote areas, they fear the church could pave the way to an abolition of celibacy. They're right, and they should. Their slippery slope concern is that next, ordained priests will be able to marry, and then God knows what could happen. Maybe even women would be allowed into the priesthood.
Is this what? Did this guy actually say this?
Yeah, that's what. There's a woman who wrote the article.
A woman actually said
Yes.
this.
A woman actually said, oh my.
That's Stockholm Syndrome if I've ever heard it, man.
What's that mean?
I'll get into it here in just a moment. 855-450-3733. Let us know what you think.
I want to tell you about my favorite cryptocurrency wallet, Edge Wallet, at edge.app. Edge is the wallet I use more than any other, and that was true long before Edge Wallet became a sponsor of Free Talk Live. Edge Wallet allows you to buy, sell, trade, and securely hold your cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Ethereum, tokens, Monero, Ripple, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, and more. It's available for both Android and iOS, and you can download it via the Play or App Store or via Edge Wallet's website, edge.app. Secure your freedom with Edge Wallet.
Divvy is crypto made easy. Anyone can use Divvy to securely and seamlessly spend, earn, store, or exchange digital money, the US dollar, and euros. Divvy is fast. Transactions happen in seconds with fewer fees. While other altcoins are languishing, the Divvy price has risen substantially against BTC. Now's the time to make a switch to Divvy or make your start with cryptocurrency with Divvy. Visit DivvyProject.org. Divvy is crypto made easy. Plus one-click masternodes. DivvyProject.org. Again, DivvyProject.org.
Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com.
Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this, right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it, and once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world, so I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here, and I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Is oral health important to you? If you don't like your own teeth, fresh breath, or kissing people, then by all means stop listening. Several years ago, I met Jessica Armand, founder and CEO of My Magic Mud, and I became passionate about the product that she created and never want to live without it. It's clinically proven to whiten teeth, but I find it does much more. They want you to love My Magic Mud as much as I do, so they're giving you a money-back guarantee plus 20% off. Go to mymagicmud.com and use coupon code FTL20 at checkout. mymagicmud.com, FTL20.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria,
Michael,
and Mark.
And I want to tell you about the Edge wallet because it's the mobile wallet that I use for storing and holding and moving and using my cryptocurrency. It supports all kinds of cryptocurrencies. Your big ones, of course, Bitcoin, Dash, Bitcoin Cash, obviously, is by far my favorite. Litecoin, Ethereum, all of the ones that you would expect a major wallet to support, it supports. It also includes support for Stellar, which is XLM, a newer cryptocurrency.
Variety of currencies out there. I mean, basically,
there's dozens of them.
Yeah, many dozens.
Not quite as many as Koinami supports, but I would argue that's a good thing because Koinami has junk on there like Putin coin and other stuff that no cryptocurrency advocates likely to really think is going to, do any good for cryptocurrency.
One of the things that Koinami's had some negative articles written about it. I don't think that's necessarily meaningful.
Well, how about them giving out the people's 14-word passphrases via clear text to Google?
That's a problem.
Oops. And causing people to actually lose and then denying responsibility for it.
And that's one that was the one I was going to get into here is that Edge Wallet doesn't have that problem, that 14-word issue.
No, it's got a username system, and it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it's great.
It.
It's really great. And I've used it. I've also transferred it from one phone to another. I was talking to somebody today who was like, well, I had some crypto, but then I changed computers, and now I don't have any crypto anymore. And I'm like, well, I probably could help you with that, but how much are we talking about here?
Right.
And is it worth my time to attempt to, myself, not the most technical person around? I think that it's salvageable, but I don't know where exactly.
Yeah, I've got a broken phone with the Koinami wallet on it, and it's got the 14-word passphrase because I wasn't using the Edge wallet then, and it's got like $70 worth of crypto in it, just enough to pay for the phone to be repaired.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to bother with that. Maybe if Bitcoin Cash jumps up to like 50,000.
Just hold it, throw it in a drawer.
Yeah, maybe one day it'll be, economical to do it. So that's by far the best feature of the Edge wallet is the username system, getting away from those stupid, clunky passphrases of 14 random words that accidentally get sent via clear text over HTTP. It was such a fiasco.
Yeah,
and I liked Koinami up until that point. It also supports multiple user accounts, which is really great. It's being used here in Keene, New Hampshire by homeless people who will go into some of the stores here that accept cryptocurrency and sign into the Edge wallet on employees' mobile phones using their username and password so that they can still make purchases even though they don't have any mobile phone or any mobile provider. It's a wonderful, wonderful app. So go check it out. You can find it at edge.app. They've been building it since 2004. It's absolutely great. It literally is the wallet that I use.
So do I.
So getting back to Christianity and Catholicism, we evidently have a priest who is a bit, let's call him butthurt, about the possibility of priests getting married. And evidently, as Mark pointed out during the break, the woman writing this article was being facetious when she said, who knows what will happen next? Women might get ordained.
Right, which pretty much is true in almost every other denomination of Christianity out there.
Wasn't it a big deal when the Methodist Church did it?
It might have been Methodists. I know that it was a big deal when the Presbyterians did it, but now they got gay ministers and all kinds of stuff. So whatever.
That was a big deal in the Methodist Church too.
German Cardinal Gerhard Müller of Germany is vehement. He doesn't even want the topic brought up and has condemned the Synod working document. He says it has triggered fears of a pending change to church doctrine. He warns that it could actually cause a
Shut up, boomer.
schism, leaving conservatives with no choice but to leave the church under Francis. I'm not sure what that means, church under Francis.
Pope Francis?
Oh, yeah, Pope Francis. Thank you. I was thinking Franciscans. And that brings me to a point is that exactly what are we talking about when we say schism? I can think of Franciscans, Trappists, Jesuits, a whole variety of different types of Catholics out there. I mean, would a schism still remain of the Catholic Church? And if so, big whoop. Who cares?
Wouldn't be the first one.
Yeah. Oh, so you're going to have some place where priests have to be celibate and some places where they don't?
I wonder
Fine.
which one of these two will be successful.
The priests that are willing to put up with being a priest and want to be married will simply go to the more yucky places in the world where they can't get the celibate priests to go. And they'll do the job of priests in those locations, and fine. They do the yeoman's work, and then after a series of decades, they'll be allowed to do some of the better work. Just like humans have done throughout society's evolution, somebody has to go in and do the crap work, has to do the hard stuff, and then their kids or the next generation benefits from it. So there you go.
Isn't it amazing that at the same time we're talking that society as a whole is talking about whether or not trans people can use a women's restroom, the Catholic Church is still trying to figure out whether or not their priests should be able to get married.
Yeah, they really are 1,000 years back.
I don't know if it's quite 1,000, but
the priests are allowed to wear dresses.
100. They are.
Yeah, they got their little skirt things that.
And then there's the fact that nuns aren't they essentially like sister wives to Christ or something like that?
Yeah, they're well. No one's talking about letting them not be celibate.
Yeah, no, sorry, the ladies don't have to don't get to talk about this.
Do nuns get to get married in this new?
No, that's not even being discussed.
They're reserved for Jesus.
The body of the Christianity is called the Bride of Christ. Anyway, the church is called the Bride of Christ. What you're saying about nuns,
his bride is a whore.
It is true, but all males in the church are in part the Bride of Christ. So. This is an interesting thing.
Are they power bottoms?
I don't know.
They sound like power bottoms.
I don't know any idea what any of that crap means.
I feel like you could extrapolate the meaning.
I know what a bottom is.
I think I have an idea what a power bottom is.
Mueller says that the Amazon working document lacks theological reflection and creates great confusion for Catholics. He says that it puts the focus on human ideas to save the world rather than Jesus. Jesus never said anything about celibacy that I can tell, and honestly, the evidence for Jesus being single is scant.
I didn't see anything in the Bible about Jesus being celibate or saying anything about celibacy. So I don't know.
Weren't things they were talking about.
Give us a call.
Rabbis, which Jesus was arguably, didn't have any prohibitions like that. Jesus was a Jew who grew up in a Jew world and really didn't come in contact with people that weren't in some way related to being Jewish. The whole idea of celibacy for the priesthood would have never entered his mind. It wasn't a discussion.
Interesting. Well, I knew that about the Jewish thing. I didn't know that rabbis weren't required to be celibate. I've never given it any thought whatsoever. But
Paul, but they can't have a ham sandwich. Hey.
So Paul was the one who invented Christian celibacy, I suppose?
No, that didn't come up for 1,000
So even
years.
Paul didn't do it?
He wasn't married, but he did talk about some celibacy, so he extolled celibacy.
Well, Tom Gray, who used to host Call to Freedom, believed Paul was gay.
You love Bitcoin. It's the future, right? Well, no, not if everyone stops using it. I mean, think about it. How many places in your town take Bitcoin? One? None? Let's be real. If this Bitcoin thing is ever going to happen, it's going to need your help. The good news is the guys at AnyPay have your back. We built a website called helpmetakebitcoin.com. and it's a place you can send any business, and they'll be set up to take Bitcoin in 5 minutes. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
Warning, this is a privacy alert. You are being spied on right now as I speak by your phone. If you want this to stop, visit GoDarkBags.com and we'll show you how elite military units protect themselves and how you can too. Go Dark Bags are lab tested and guaranteed for life. Visit GoDarkBags.com now and enter discount code FTL to save 15%. That's GoDarkBags.com. Discount code FTL. Your privacy depends on it. End transmission.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market. Making it just a...
Let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
There are basically two types of advertising: direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Are you a sneezer? If you're not, can you get close to one? I don't literally mean someone sneezing. Sneezer, as defined by marketing guru Seth Godin, is an opinion leader. When a sneezer mentions something, other people catch what Godin calls the idea virus. Seth Godin says some people are more likely to tell their friends about a great new idea. So identifying and courting sneezers is a key success factor for idea merchants. His book, Unleashing the Idea Virus, is the most downloaded ebook in history, and you can download the whole book free. That's how he's making his idea contagious. Click Tips, Tricks, and other stuff to help you cut through the clutter at www.survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number's 855-450-3733. With you tonight, it's Aria,
Michael,
and Mark.
And we've been talking about the Catholic Church here and its ideas to allow people to get married. I think there's a bit more to be said on the issue of Christianity in general and various destructive policies it has waged throughout the past century or so that created a lot of issues that didn't actually have to exist. Like, I'm from Mississippi, where the only sex education program offered by the school, and I'm with you, okay, I want to stress that the public school system should not be teaching sex ed in the first place. But if it's going
there shouldn't be a public school system.
In my case, they didn't teach sex ed, so you know.
Yeah. So, but it was an abstinence only sex
I made
ed
it through.
program.
I made it through my school's sex ed program, not understanding the difference between sex and masturbation. I thought the terms were synonymous.
Interesting.
Oops.
Well, it's no surprise that Mississippi has the highest rates of gonorrhea, syphilis, and teen pregnancy, and also has the highest denomination in the United States of Southern Baptists, who are all about that fire and brimstone Christianity. It's the only state in the United States where more than 50% of the population doesn't just share a single religion, but is part of a single denomination of that religion. No other state has that.
Wow.
And it's no surprise that Mississippi also happens to have the highest teen pregnancy rates, the lowest literacy rates, the highest rates of gonorrhea, syphilis infections. It's just generally not a pleasant place to be, and it's because they're teaching kids that all they have to do is refrain from having sex. Oh, that's all well and good.
That's not sex education. That's anti-sex education.
Yeah, and it's a good idea, I suppose. But
it would be if it worked in implementation. How's it doing?
And clearly not well.
Then it's not a good idea.
No,
ideas are only good if they work.
Yeah. Well, this one, yeah, definitely. Good point. But I mean, yeah, teens are going to have sex, right? And so because they got no education whatsoever from their parents who share those Southern Baptist beliefs and don't tell them anything about sex or contraceptives or anything like that, all of that ultimately stemming from the Catholic Church as well. Southern Baptists aren't exactly against contraceptives, but they refuse to teach them to kids because they think it will encourage them to have sex, which is what they're against. It's just absolute nonsense. It's antiquated. It's stupid. And why are they pretending like they weren't having sex with each other when they were 16 and 17-year-olds themselves?
I think that they feel guilty for it and they don't want their kids doing it. I don't want my kid doing the things that I did when I was sub 21, I can assure you. The list is long and sordid, and I don't want him doing many of those things. I understand that he will do some things, and I'd like to keep the list as under control as I could. I believe by banning them all that I'm more likely to drive him to do all of them rather than allowing some and, hopefully controlling some of the circumstances. For instance, some of the circumstances I'm interested in is condom use. Like this, condom use will solve some problems.
Right.
And just banning sex outright. Well, I mean, what if he's got a girlfriend? What if they've been in, I met a young lady this weekend who had been together. She was with her parents. She didn't talk about having sex with her boyfriend. She'd been together with her boyfriend for 2 years. She was 16 years old. They got together when she was 14, and he's a little older than she is. I wonder what's going on. It's not a good idea to just pretend like these kids aren't doing things.
They certainly are.
I would agree entirely. Let's go to the phones. We've got Dave calling from Colorado. Dave, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, gentlemen. One of the things that characterizes the Free State Project, this libertarian migration to New Hampshire, is the idea that we should raise as much concern as we can and focus as much scrutiny as we can on the authorities, so that they get more scrutiny in New Hampshire than anywhere else. And as part of that process today, I would like to tell you about something that happened in Clairemont. Have you guys talked about this cop in Clairemont?
Not yet.
So apparently he managed to cause a 5-car crash, and he did so while violating New Hampshire's cell phone law. He was on his cell phone while he was driving.
Oh, this guy was, I think I recall hearing about this. He was on his cell phone, driving his police cruiser with his blue lights going, and looks down at his cell phone while he's about to run through a red light.
And he did, I guess he did run through a red light, according to the article that I read. And again, 5-car wreck with injuries. And guess what? He's not being charged.
Of course not.
Did he have his lights on, out of curiosity?
Yeah, he had his lights on.
My understanding is he did.
Okay. Well, that's going to get them out of just about everything. Yeah. If the lights are on, the emergency lights are on, and people didn't see it, whether, it's.
Well, the thing is, this is kind of a half-blind intersection because it's like an
I'm not claiming it's a good idea.
It's a sharp angle.
I'm against the emergency lights. As a fireman, I have been in 2 locations. I haven't even been to that many wrecks. I'm a volunteer fireman. Maybe I've been at a couple dozen. 2 of them, there were wrecks next to the wreck. Because why? Why was there a wreck next to the wreck?
Because they create dangerous circumstances.
Rubberneckers want to look, right? So, I mean, we put a circumstance where you have lights that are flashing round and round, bringing everybody's attention to a situation. So the lights are intended to grab your attention. That's their job. And people are nosy. Pulling people over on the side of the road with those lights, I believe, ought to be weighed against how much danger is that person actually creating on the road. Because you're creating a danger when you pull them over and then ask everybody to go around and merge and do all these things. It's dangerous just pulling somebody over. And those lights are dangerous. They're intended to distract drivers. That's their job.
Do you want to know the kicker to this? This police officer was responding to a house fire.
Yeah, so what's he going to do? What's he going to do? Right. Let's make sure everybody's out of the vacant house. So if somebody comes out of the vacant house, I'm going to write him a ticket. He didn't need to be there.
Any more on this story, Dave?
Well, it's they got all this trouble to make a law that stops us from using cell phones. They could have made a law that says you can't use cell phones unless you're a cop going to a fire or something like that. But they didn't. I don't think there's any kind of exception for cops.
Well, they just have their generic exception that says we can do whatever we want.
Well, I mean, don't they generally carry like laptops and radios and stuff like that in their vehicles? The law isn't about cell phones; it's about using handheld devices. Right? You can't have them in your hands, but they do in fact have their radios in their hands, and they do have laptops sitting right there on their consoles in a lot of cases. So I imagine yes, the law does in fact include some exception for the police. Well, I'm not saying that's right.
Right. The idea that these guys can have laptops sitting in their passenger chairs, with their mounts for the laptop. I mean, it's not like this is a secret or anything. Right. I mean, we're mounting these laptops in there and then tick, doing the things that they do. Well, they're not superhuman. They're going to get distracted like anybody else.
Yep. Well, Dave, thank you so much for the call. Always unfortunate to hear about the various wrongdoings of police. There was another cop not terribly long ago who was texting while making a turn. I don't remember what state this was in. And he hit somebody on a bicycle who was, waiting for the cop to make his turn so that they could go. And he just turned directly into them. Never even saw them because he was busy looking down at his phone.
I'm not surprised. I mean, everybody gets distracted, and when you don't have the level of response, when you're not going to be held responsible for your actions, it's going to be a problem.
As a cyclist who bikes every day, cops are some of the most dangerous drivers I see.
Interesting.
That's all there is to it.
But that's cops for you. That's what they do. They're thugs. They're rapists. They're murderers. They're wife beaters. They're just generally all around terrible people doing terrible things.
Well, they're also normal people that are caught in normal situations, too.
855-450-FREE.
When you have a pain in the neck, a real pain in the neck, back, shoulder, or legs, you now have two convenient choices to get fast relief without taking another pill. Because now, Sunny Bay heating wraps and pillows are available at both Amazon and Walmart. Yes, see Sunny Bay's 4.5 to 5-star customer reviews on Amazon.com or Walmart.com. Our microwavable heat wraps, heatable neck pillows, and extra large body wraps are designed better for perfect support where and when you need it. Even while driving, Sunny Bay wraps will not burn and stay balanced to provide soothing hot or cold therapy to help treat temporary or chronic pain. And the best part, Sunny Bay quality products start at under $20. Join thousands of happy customers and see why Sunny Bay products have a lifetime 100% positive rating on both Amazon and Advcie. It's easy. Click Amazon or Walmart and search today for Sunny Bay.
Jake was in big trouble with the IRS. He owed how much?
$92,000.
Ouch. The IRS left no room for Jake to breathe.
They put a lien on my house, took all the money out of my bank account, took money out of my paychecks. So it was a nightmare.
He needed help fast.
I figured that all these companies were the same until I called Federal Tax Management. You could just tell they knew what they were talking about. Right then and there, I felt like I had some hope.
Stop the liens, levies, and garnishments fast and qualify for one of several special IRS programs that could reduce or even eliminate your tax debt. So, how'd it go for Jake?
They did what they said they would do. They came through for me. I ended up saving an unbelievable amount. I was so jazzed. I was extremely happy.
If you owe more than $10,000 in back taxes, take Jake's advice.
Give Federal Tax Management a phone call. If they help me, they can help anybody.
Call the Federal Tax Management Hotline now. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625. 800-503-8625.
Free Talk Live.
They have satellite image pictures of cities on the moon.
No, they
and
don't.
Of course yes, they do.
That's a load of garbage. I've never heard of any such thing. A quick Google search would reveal whatever these lame-o pictures are supposed to be, which, of course, you yourself have never done, right? You've never seen these alleged photos, correct?
No, but it's actually the...
Why would you go around saying that there are pictures of cities on the moon if you yourself have never seen them?
Well, because I heard it on a late night, 2 o'clock in the morning when I used to have that show here.
Yeah, you're talking about the overnight kook show?
Coast to Coast.
Coast to Coast?
Yeah, they banned that show 5 years ago.
No, they didn't.
But I used to stay up.
Who's they?
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. What do you shop for that you could otherwise buy at Amazon? Pretty much everything, right? Amazon has competitive pricing and they deliver, and that's a big plus. If you could plan ahead in your shopping, would you be interested in saving up to 33%? There's a catch. You have to do your shopping in Bitcoin. But imagine those savings. It's like a huge raise. All you have to do is go to saveitpurse.com. We've saved thousands, and you can too. Plan ahead and save. Saveitpurse.com.
Now you can follow LRN.FM on the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in to talk about whatever is on your mind. That number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria.
Michael.
And Mark.
And I love this headline here. Meatless meat is becoming mainstream, and it's sparking a backlash. Now, just the idea of meatless meat. So it's not meat. It literally is not meat.
Yeah,
right.
It's meatless, but it resembles meat. But yeah, meatless meat. I mean, what are we going to have next? Waterless water?
That's
How about meatless
alcohol.
patties?
Meatless patties.
That's what these are, right?
Meatless burger patties?
You've had one of these, have you not, Mark?
I love them. I thought it was great. I had, I think, the Impossible Burger, but it might have been the Beyond Burger. I'm not sure which one it was, obviously. But it was great. It was...
Now, I liked Burger King's old veggie burgers. They were actually
I'm not familiar with them.
Very good. They didn't taste like meat, but they weren't supposed to either. They had their own unique taste, and it was a good taste.
I have not had that, and I would say that the meatless burger that I had was close enough to meat that I couldn't really tell for a hamburger. Now, I'm not going to claim it was like making, you know how you take hamburger, you smash it into a sort of a hamburgery shape, you cook it, you slap it on a bun. It wasn't like that.
Okay.
It was like, when you buy the burger that's already made into a burger at the store and you get like the 12 pack of burgers that are separated by wax paper.
Oh, yeah.
It's like those burgers.
Okay.
Not the greatest burgers, mind you, but the fact that they can replicate that is amazing with something that is not meat.
It certainly is. But before we get into that, let's go to the phones. We've got Freddie calling in from Connecticut. Freddie, you're on Free Talk Live. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Freddie, you're on Free Talk Live.
Oh, my God. I cannot believe all the vile hatred and vitriol coming out of that so-called church.
Yeah, good try. Saw that coming.
Oh, you don't need to dump those. I don't see any reason to dump them. I mean, what's the point? If Ian's not going to do anything about this, why are we dumping these calls?
Just hang up on him?
Yeah, just hang up on him.
All right.
I mean, if Ian wants to do something about it, do something about it. Don't just pretend. I mean, it's such a lame cover-up.
Sure.
Ian's letting this guy call in, this guy that has threatened the life of my kid.
Is there a way to stop that, though?
There's a variety of ways. Yes, I've presented a way, and Ian didn't want anything to do with it. So,
that's
because
unfortunate.
This is what he wants. He wants this lunatic to call in so that he can chit-chat with him, because he likes talking to crazy people, even homicidal crazy people.
I like talking to crazy people.
I do not. And I would ask right now, James Witt, please call me again. Never. Ever, ever. I don't ever want to hear my name, my son's name, my wife's name ever come out of your stinking crazy mouth again. Just in case you wondered.
I believe it. I like tipping him tiny amounts of cryptocurrency just to kind of...
Oh, in the Discord chat room?
Yes.
Yeah, he's you can tip anybody there.
Yes.
And it's funny to throw pennies at him.
Yes, well, not even pennies. I'm throwing him 0.00000.
Well, he demanded that I pay him for whatever these perceived slights are that he's obsesses about. So I sent him 6 cents. You've been paid. He's demanded that I apologize and pay him. I said, I'm sorry for any perceived insult. Here's 6 cents. And I sent him 6 cents.
I think I've probably sent him a total of a thousandth of a penny by this point. But I've never even spoken to the guy beyond just hanging up on him when he calls, because, I mean, you don't want to talk to him. I don't mind talking to him, but he's not allowed to call Free Talk Live. So, okay, I'm good with that.
I think he's allowed to call when I'm not on now. Ian's got a new rule.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
The entertaining lunatics rule. Now, mind you, I would think
if he's not calling in to make threats and stuff like that, I get it. I mean, he's just stupid and unhinged.
Well, I would say that to some extent I can defend Ian's position in so much as if you don't like James calling, call and then take his slot. 855-450-3733.
So the Impossible Burger launched quietly in upscale restaurants a few years ago. The coverage was mostly positive, with some reviewers even calling it the future of meat. Now, do either of you remember when Amazon bought Whole Foods?
Yes.
And, it was alleged that now you can buy everything on Amazon except privilege, social status, essentially. And that's ultimately what this comes down to. Amazon made the social status of being a Whole Foods shopper convenient, affordable, and available for everyone. And then Burger King has essentially done the same with the Impossible Burger, and the hipsters out there that,
they don't like it?
They don't like it one bit.
So why is that? I mean, what's the argument for making whatever this social good is, presuming this is a social good? I believe it is. But,
they're not special anymore.
Well, that's right. I mean, there's the old, I saw it first. I got the T-shirt back in, 1987. So, whatever.
Before you did.
Yep.
But now Impossible products have hit Qdoba, Burger King, and supermarkets.
I don't know what Qdoba is.
I do know what Qdoba is. It's like a Mexican grill type. It's similar to Chipotle and Moe's.
Okay.
Another plant-based meat company, Beyond Meat, is featured in Carl's Jr., Subway, and now McDonald's. It's a sign that the new wave of meatless meat is approaching mainstream status. An encouraging development if you care about changing our meat-centric food system. I don't.
Can we just call
care.
this, instead of meatless meat, call it fake meat? Because it's not meat.
I don't even know if I want to call it. Well, I guess fake meat is accurate because it is trying to be meat.
How about deep fake meat?
But if the emergence of meatless meat a few years ago was held unanimously as a good thing, the response to its mainstreaming has been tinged with skepticism. The adoption of Impossible Foods and Beyond Meat products by fast food chains hasn't exactly been welcomed in some quarters, even among those who you think would be more supportive of this development. Call it the backlash against the fast rise of meatless meat. Yeah, they really like that phrase. Because that's like the fourth time in this article they've used it.
Yep. I mean, you can't have meatless meat.
Interesting. They bring up Whole Foods, sort of. For instance, the CEO of Whole Foods and the CEO of Chipotle both criticized Beyond and Impossible products, calling them too highly processed. Now, I get that from Whole Foods. I've never actually had Chipotle, though.
They would have to be processed, right? You have to process vegetation pretty heavily to make it seem almost like a meat patty.
Yes.
Yeah, but what the catch is, what kind of processing are you doing? I mean, they're saying processing like it's a bad thing, but they're not really being specific about what kind of processing is done. I mean,
processing just sounds bad.
Yeah.
Well, I would expect Whole Foods to, be against that sort of thing. But Chipotle, I imagine all of their food is pretty heavily processed as well.
Actually, Chipotle's kind of, their shtick is kind of like mostly unprocessed stuff.
Well, define unprocessed.
That's where we get into the sticky bit again. But yeah, they tend to use like raw beans and homemade salsa, fresh beef, whatever.
Interesting. But food writer and former New York Times columnist Mark Bittman, who has long called on Americans to eat less meat, criticized the new higher-tech vegan meats for not addressing resource use and hyper-processing, although he has held them in the past. Higher-tech vegan meats. Vegan meats.
Well,
deep-fake meats. I'm telling you.
I imagine a lot of vegans don't particularly like this either because they're more sort of pro-vegetable. Well, eat more vegetables and eat more beans. If you don't want to eat meat, don't try something that's not going to be meat, like that's very close. A lot of people just want you to stop even wanting something that's like meat. And
then that's the problem.
If you
I don't want to stop eating burgers.
That's like the Catholic Church trying to stop people from having sex.
As opposed to just getting married and having sex in a non-sinful way.
Or having vegan meat patties.
Well,
if people want a thing, they're going to do the thing.
They're going to do the thing.
At least present them with a relatively undestructive method that they can use to pursue doing that thing. That's the libertarian position. You can't control people's behavior. No matter what they're doing, whether you like it or not, they're going to find a way to do it. Whether it's having sex or eating meat.
To support the amount of humans on planet Earth, we need to have fewer livestock animals, and this is a way to do it.
855-450-3733.
She seems happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog for life.
The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Come to Dynovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids, flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Dynovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dynovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in Liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealestate.com.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is the Liberty Beat, your daily source for liberty news and activist updates. Produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. Online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow with your latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Gold is trading at $1,493, silver at $17.43, and Bitcoin is trading around $8,210. Today's prices are brought to you by InnoScale. Take off with Managed Cloud. Looking for a safe, secure way to store your important files online? Let InnoScale handle it for you. Their high-availability cloud servers are the perfect solution for clients needing one or more secure, scalable servers with built-in hardware failover protection. For details, see them online at innoscale.net. In the news, the Chinese government continues its Orwellian practices with the announcement that citizens will have to use facial recognition technology to access the internet. The Mind Unleashed reports that it's all part of China's social credit system that will take effect December 1st. After the law goes into effect, Chinese citizens who want to have the internet installed at their homes or on their smartphones will be required to undergo a facial recognition process by the Chinese authority to prove their identities. This is significant because now the Chinese government will use the internet to rate citizens based on their daily behavior online. Since 2015, Chinese citizens have been required to show their ID cards while applying for a landline or the internet. The new law is put in place to verify that the ID belongs to the person applying for the services. The new law was published on the Chinese Ministry of Industry and Information Technology website and distributed to all Chinese telecom carriers on September 27th. The Liberty Beat is sponsored in part by Brave Botanicals. High-quality kratom and CBD at reasonable prices with excellent customer service. Brave Botanicals is activist-owned and mission-driven and believes so strongly in the power of kratom, they're giving it away for free. Just go to freeounceofkratom.com for a free ounce of kratom delivered to your door. Just pay shipping. That's freeounceofkratom.com. This is the latest edition of the Liberty Beat. Find us online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. Your news now continues. On September 30th, the FBI issued a press release noting they published their 2018 crime statistics. Activist Post reports that most notable about the report is the fact that despite constant fear-mongering by the mainstream media and the government that crime is running rampant, the number of violent crimes decreased 3.3% as compared to the previous year. Also contained in the report were the numbers and causes of deaths in murder cases. Although the FBI did not make the comparison themselves, when reading the data, it's shown that the number of murders carried out with knives or cutting devices was 5 times higher than the number of murders carried out with rifles. The comparison is particularly important given the current gun climate in America. It's also important to mention that handguns were responsible for the majority of firearms deaths. It's also important to point out that all firearms deaths combined made up the majority of all murders in the United States. Of the 14,123 murders in 2018, 10,265 of them involved firearms. A former NYPD cop was acquitted on felony child rape and sex abuse charges this month, despite filming the interactions with the 15-year-old victim himself. Instead of going to jail for years, the cop will likely escape any actual accountability. According to the Free Thought Project, the ex-NYPD police officer, Raul Almeida, was accused of recording his sexual encounters with the 15-year-old girl on at least 5 occasions. The facts were indisputable, yet Almeida was acquitted. Instead of facing the time in prison for the felony rape charges, Almeida was convicted of 2 petty misdemeanors of official misconduct and witness tampering. The witness tampering stems from the fact that Almeida told the girl not to testify against him in court. The official misconduct charge was brought on after he was caught accessing NYPD computers to see what evidence Internal Affairs had against him. Support for the Liberty Beat comes from the Conscious Resistance Network, featuring videos, news reports, and articles from a spiritual anarchist perspective. Experience the Conscious Resistance at theconsciousresistance.com. How would you like to have your business featured on the Liberty Beat? You can. Just send an email to libertybeat@snls.news for details. This is the Liberty Beat, produced in partnership with SNLS News and listeners like you. The Liberty Beat is online at libertybeat.news and snls.news. I'm Mick Murrow, reporting for the Liberty Beat, reminding you, spread liberty with a smile.
Odds are, if you've looked outside recently, you've noticed that all dogs everywhere are running. Scientists can't explain why all over the world, dogs of every breed are running nonstop. I'm joined now by animal behavior expert Dr. Charles Davenport. Charles, what can you tell us?
All we know for sure is that the dogs are running fast.
But we don't know why the dogs are running?
There are a few reasons that dogs normally run. Because they're excited or scared, or they see something they want far away, or because they're happy. However, usually, they don't run at the same time or in the same direction.
Do we have any idea where the dogs are running?
West. All the dogs are running west.
Do we expect the dogs to ever stop running?
We don't know. Animal behavior can evolve over time. Maybe running forever is just what the dogs do now.
Dr. Davenport, is there any chance that the running dogs are somehow related to last night's blue meteor shower? Or the fact that horses are screaming?
Inconclusive.
Well, please keep us posted. Up next, where are all the children?
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number is 855-450-3733. Again, that's 855-450-FREE, as in free of meat patties. With you tonight, it's Aria,
Michael,
and Mark.
And as alluded to, we've been talking about the impossible meats and the beyond meats, and evidently how they're triggering some people who, I don't know, kind of feel like they're losing social status, although the complaints being raised so far in this issue are less about that and more about, okay, well, you're doing meatless patties and that's great, but you're not doing it right. These are still too heavily processed. Why can't you just throw some spinach between the buns and call it a day?
Because that's not going to taste anything like meat.
Right.
The marketplace should decide this, and as far as I'm concerned, Whole Foods, if they, I guess they're going to have to determine for themselves if they will lose business by carrying these patties that will eclipse the amount of business that they would gain by having them. And that's a decision they're going to have to make for themselves. I haven't been to a Whole Foods in at least a year. Probably wasn't in one before that for another year. I don't care about Whole Foods.
Yeah,
my wife does go pretty regularly. I do not.
I literally eat whatever I feel like eating.
And they have that at regular grocery stores. You don't have to pay triple for it.
They do. But I can't even be bothered to do that. I just go eat somewhere, which usually has some sort of highly processed food that tastes good and is quick and not much of a hassle.
So this is, so you're just like saying a restaurant, a fast food restaurant or a restaurant of sorts. Yeah. Okay.
I tend to not eat a lot of fast food.
Okay.
Well, for whatever that's worth.
It's ready quickly.
It is, but I mean, so is like local burger and, Indian curry here in Keene. I don't mind waiting 5 minutes, but I'm not going to stand there for 10 minutes cooking something. It's just not worth my time.
Well,
okay. It is, but I'm lazy and I don't want to be bothered, so I'm not going to be
If you don't feel like cooking, you don't feel like cooking. I'm not here to tell people that they got to. You're probably going to eat a healthier diet if you do, but, you're young and that's that, and I'm
doing okay.
I don't do it when I'm.
Yeah, for now.
I don't even eat I won't cook pretty much if my wife's not in town. She'll make soups and things that I can heat up on the stove. So I really have no opportunity to talk.
Yeah. Well, you're not going to live to 50, so it doesn't matter.
That's the plan. To be sure, the new plant-based burgers have gotten a lot of positive coverage too, and they certainly have. The Impossible Burger, it was everywhere when Burger King released it, and I'm sure they made a killing off of it. And some pragmatic reviews more focused on describing their taste, pretty meaty, although some reviewers insist they can still tell the difference. Well, I mean, yeah, you got people out there who say there's no difference between Coke and Pepsi, and there's an enormous difference. Coke is awful, Pepsi is good.
What?
Coke is good, Pepsi is awful.
Where are you from again?
I am from Earth, where Coca-Cola is awful.
I thought
Pepsi
you were from the South,
good.
and like what I heard sound treasonous.
I didn't say anything negative about sweet tea, Mark.
Coke is from Atlanta, and I'm sorry,
Pepsi
I have no
Pepsi is
use
from New York.
for that ultra-sweet crap called Pepsi.
Yeah, I have to go with
Them's fighting words, Mark.
With whom? Who likes that stuff still?
Pepsi's so much better.
Pepsi is garbage.
Agree to disagree.
You got good reach, but you don't want to fight me.
But this is a nascent industry, evidently, and any pushback can have an impact. I'm not particularly concerned about pushback from the vegans on this particular subject.
I'm not worried about pushback from the vegans on anything.
I mean, especially not this, right? But there's certainly some truth to the critiques. The Beyond and Impossible Burgers aren't exactly health food. Well, look, no one's going to Burger King expecting health food. Come on. That's not the point.
Yeah, that's not why you go to Burger King.
You don't go to the red light district to find a wife. And you don't go to Burger King for health food.
I don't think of the Beyond Burger as addressing the issue of health. I consider it as addressing the issue of humans consuming too much meat.
Yeah, wasn't this supposed to be a climate change thing?
Well, the cows do have a lot of flatulence.
That's what it is.
And that's being captured.
It's all about
in the
that cow
atmosphere.
farts.
But they're not more unhealthy than the meat products they're displacing. The Impossible oh dear Lord, here's a sentence for you. The Impossible Whopper might help save the planet, but it's still high-calorie, greasy, and probably not a good idea to eat every day. So that's the Impossible Whopper is going to save the planet.
So who is out there eating Whoppers every day?
I don't know about Whoppers, but I do know people who like eat Burger King for breakfast every day, and they're fat and diabetic, and they look like they're about to kill over. So for what it's worth, there are people, especially in the South, who do that sort of thing, tragically, even though, they shouldn't, because Burger King, it's not good.
Well, they got those cheap crisp sandwiches, so they taste good. So
they do. And
I had one just the other day. It was pretty good. I haven't had one in years, but I was taking my mom to the airport. I was hungry and, an hour from the house. And so
I mean, there was definitely a time when I was in college that I ate Burger King almost every single day for about a year. But I'm young and in good shape, and I do stay active. So I wasn't one of those people who just got their 4 sausage and biscuits from Burger King and then went home and sat in front of a television all day. So fast food in general not going to be good, but the allegation that the Impossible Whopper might help save the planet is among the most absurd things I've ever heard.
Well, I think the general idea behind that is that it will reduce the
cow
the number of
flatulence.
cows, the cow flatulence, and the amount of pasture that's being used for cows.
Also,
But
livestock.
plants oxidize.
Oxidize what?
Carbon dioxide, which
they
isn't
eat carbon dioxide. Yeah, that's food for plants.
Well, it's oxidizing because they.
Yeah, sir. Certainly a carbon-rich atmosphere is going to be good for plants, but it's according to climate scientists, it's not so hot for the greenhouse's effect. Now, maybe
then they need to
some way
research their history and learn about cyanobacteria and how plant life evolved in the first place from said bacteria in a carbon-rich atmosphere that contained little or no oxygen 3.5 billion years ago, giving rise to the plants that we have today. Because carbon was so abundant, they were able to, thrive and reproduce. And eventually, 3 billion years later, you have a bunch of plants and you have a bunch of animals working together to keep the atmosphere relatively in balance. The issue here is really going to be the deforestation.
For what? For animals?
Yeah, we destroyed the balance between.
You need to deforest to have land to grow things on too.
Sure.
Admittedly, you can grow more calories in, say, corn than you can in cows in a given area. So.
Well, I don't think caloric intake is America's problem.
No.
No, it's
some people's problem, though.
But on the subject of global warming and the atmospheric conditions and all that, it's a problem that will fix itself. Just like cyanobacteria, consumed too much of the carbon for them to sustain their population, so will humans ultimately consume too much of the forest to sustain animal population. And what will happen? Humans will die off. Therefore, the ability to impact the environment will decrease. Forests will regrow, taking advantage of the increase in carbon. And the problem will solve itself.
Yes, Mother Nature will be fine.
Yes.
The question is, how will humans be? Now, one of the suggestions is
that's why my criticism
it'll be a mass extinction, which could be not so hot.
Well, not necessarily bad either. It's just a change in how things are. And that's my issue with the climate change people, is that, they're so obsessed with how things are right now that they're willing to just undergo these massive changes in order to maintain the status quo, to maintain human dominance over Earth, when every indication is that humans are not suited for dominance over the Earth. So let nature take its toll. You want to call yourself an environmentalist and you're fighting nature? Are you kidding me? 855-450-3733. Give us a call. What do you think about climate change and how flatulence and eating babies and how Greta, whatever her name, Thunfield, something like that. 855-450-3733.
I can definitely say that I have found the best cryptocurrency wallet. Certainly the best named one. I'm Mark Edge, and I love the Edge wallet. I've been using it for the last few months. You can buy, sell, trade, and hold your cryptocurrency securely. I trust my holdings of all
stocks for over 20 years? Have they left the corporate world and retired? Or are they still trying to make a weekly paycheck? Have they produced six-figure results for their customers in the past 30 days? And very importantly, are they a member of the Digital Currency Council? Seth Maniscalco is the founder of Crypto Wealth Coach and CryptoWealthCoach.com. Seth invested in his first Roth IRA at 19 years old while living abroad and has been investing in Wall Street and technology for over 20 years with experience in all the money markets. By comparison, so many of these so-called crypto gurus have barely been alive for 20 years. Seth has not only experienced personal success from his own investments in crypto, he has also helped his clients earn 6- and 7-figure incomes, including helping investors make over $750,000 in EOS in 90 days and 1,225% in only 5.5 months with Chainlink. Seth has help for the small do-it-yourself guy on up to crypto whales. Increase your wealth. Visit CryptoWealthCoach.com.
Business owners, you want more customers? Accept cryptocurrencies. There's people all around you just waiting to spend money at your store. If only you would take it. I know, you've been waiting till someone else makes it easy. Well, good news. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com adds Bitcoin to your point of sale, totally free. Use the same equipment you already have, now with Bitcoin. And unlike credit cards, there's no fees. Let the guys at HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com bring new customers to your store. HelpMeTakeBitcoin.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
Are you tired of governments around the world killing innocent people? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin is money that cannot be inflated or controlled by any state. By continuing to use their money, you're perpetuating the killing. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available to you now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. It's bitcoin.com.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. Call in and talk about whatever is on your mind. That number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria,
Michael,
and Mark.
And more and more people are being concerned with the online tracking of our movements and our personal data through our mobile phones. Gone are the days when only the bad guys, whoever they were tracked. Now everyone is being tracked every minute of every single day by their mobile phones and tablets. And don't think that putting your phone on airplane mode will stop it. Your location history is still recorded by your phone and transmitted later when you connect. If you want to know how to stop tracking on your phone and prevent your phone from being hacked, you can visit godarkbags.com/FTL. I've actually used one of these in the studio. They are fantastic. It is shocking how effective they actually are. Now, it's a bag.
Oh, yeah, it works.
I have one at home.
It's a bag that you put your mobile device in, and it immediately and completely severs all external communications from that device. It's very awesome.
Effectively.
Are you sick of being treated like a wild animal, tagged and tracked for scientific study so that tech companies can make a fortune selling your location history? Well, then you should go to godarkbags.com/FTL, and you can prevent that. You can take control over what companies are learning about you. Plus, with the rise of geofencing warrants and things like that, where the cops are subpoenaing Google, saying, hey, we want to know all of the users who were in this specific area at this particular time.
That's frightening. I mean, in America, it's happening in America.
It is. Police are on the record doing it, and Google is turning that information over to them. So godarkbags.com/FTL. You can help control your location history. Now, let's go to the phones. We got Mortified Penguin calling via our Discord server, which you can find at discord.lrn.fm. Mortified, what's on your mind?
Hey, hope I sound like I'm just in a studio with you guys. But I want to say, first of all, in regards to your read with the Faraday bags, the Go Dark bags, I don't have any experience with that particular brand, but yeah, you definitely, they're great. There's nothing more blunt than physically preventing any kind of electromagnetic, signal to go in and out of a place, just physically blocking it off. And
one of the biggest advantages to the Go Dark bags when compared to their competition in the marketplace is that they are lined with soft material on the inside, so your phone isn't sort of being played with by the the metal, the ferrous metal there that lines the bag, because it has this little piece of fabric, whereas other bags, that'll hain.
Very cool.
If you're and if you're in the market for that kind of thing, don't cheap out. Don't go with the reputable brand, because you don't want to cheap out. It just won't work if you waste your money.
No, I mean, if you're interested in it, go to godarkbags.com/FTL to get one. They're awesome. Yep. I've seen them in action here in the studio. It's amazing what they've managed to do.
So I wanted to call in about the Impossible Burger. I've tried Impossible Meat several times, usually not in the form of a burger. But and it's obviously trickled its way down to Burger King, and kind of like what you guys were saying, my experience with it is it really does it really is pretty amazing how it kind of is like a facsimile of a certain kind of meat. So it's like a Burger King burger. It's fast food Burger King Whopper burger that we expect, and it's pretty close. It represents it pretty well. It's not like some gourmet burger. It may not come to the same level of taste and quality. I don't know, but yeah. But when it comes to mimicking a Whopper, definitely spot on.
Well, see, I don't like the idea of, not having the quality of taste or whatever and ranking the meat versus the meatless burgers, because I was a fan of the Burger King veggie patty back when they carried it a number of years ago. And it wasn't that it was better or worse than their regular Whopper. It was just that it was different. If I wanted that particular flavor, I would have it. It's like, it's kind of like arguing that spaghetti is better than pizza. To me, it's just, okay, well, it's just different.
And another thing I've had is, this is amazing, by the way, just because it's a really good place, local chain here, but an Impossible meatloaf sandwich they're serving right now, with like a kind of a barbecue-y kind of sauce. And like, again, you're trying to you're trying to imitate a meatloaf, and I think you can imitate a meatloaf pretty well with the Impossible meat.
Well, they're like 50% bread by themselves, right?
They're already half not meat.
Yes, but you pay. It's so super expensive, and I hope everybody catches on so I can get them for cheaper. But I'm as some of you might know, I'm a practicing Muslim, so I do keep a kind of a sort of vegetarian diet with because I'm one of the people that does try to keep halal meat diet, and I'm one of the people that says kosher is okay, but not any old meat's okay. Just if you say a blessing over it, you do have to, one of the two. And you can usually find a decent amount of stuff, especially it's increasing. But there's also a bit of subjectivity, because the word halal means permissible, and what is permissible? If you can decrease. There's a subjectivity to it. If you can decrease animal suffering and factory farming and the pollution and all the negative aspects of the industrial scale factory farming system, then that could be a benefit in and of itself. But at the moment, unfortunately, it's not really price competitive.
Are the Impossible burgers not price competitive these days?
I don't think they're price competitive to meat to regular beef burgers. I'm not 100% sure about the Whopper, because I hadn't eaten a Whopper in so long until I had that. But I think you're paying a little bit of a premium. But that's supply and demand. I think hopefully, even that
the market will fix that over time. Obviously, I'm not eating to be halal, but I'm not thrilled with factory farming, specifically for pigs, but I don't imagine that's your problem.
Well, Mortified, thank you for the call. I'm not a fan of the factory farming either, because I made the mistake of watching Food Incorporated, the documentary, and the documentary Earthlings. Both of them are strong weapons in the vegan toolkit.
Oh, yeah.
Food Inc. especially, it focuses largely on Tyson and just the horrifically immoral things that they do to animals. So I'm not a fan of it.
It's not nice.
No, but I'm not sure what the solution is. I don't think that things like the Impossible Burger and things like that will actually supplant the industrialized food making process that we've created, because there are so many people out there who will eat meat just for the sake of eating meat and will take pride in eating meat. And other people who are like, I really don't care that chicken was tortured for a year and a half before it was finally slaughtered.
Oh, you're not eating any chickens that were a year and a half old,
no,
unless you're eating chicken noodle soup. Most chickens are probably 9 weeks old that you're eating.
9 weeks, really?
Yeah, you're eating it. Any kind of, if you're eating it off the bone or eating, say, a breast or something like that, if you're eating an unprocessed piece of meat, it is highly unlikely that it's 3 months old.
They grow that fast?
Yeah, they do. They bred them to the point. These things can't move. I mean, I've seen free-range chickens, organic chickens.
They're significantly smaller.
But they can't move. I mean, they can't move. The breast, the what they call
because they
Freedom
were still,
Rangers, with it's bred for breast size, and they can't move.
Yeah, speaking of that, man, I've bought chicken breasts from Walmart before or wherever, and they were just sickeningly huge. Like, you take them out of the package, and it's just so disgusting that I could not eat it.
this is a privacy alert. You are being spied on right now as I speak by your phone. If you want this to stop, visit GoDarkBags.com and we'll show you how elite military units protect themselves and how you can too. Go Dark Bags are lab tested and guaranteed for life. Visit GoDarkBags.com now and enter discount code FTL to save 15%. That's GoDarkBags.com. Discount code FTL. Your privacy depends on it. End transmission. Gold has definitely been on the move recently, and there is no more secure investment historically. McIlvaney ICA has been helping people take delivery of precious metals and find storage options for decades. They've helped thousands of investors with their precious metal IRAs. Call ICA today for your free portfolio review at 800-525-9556 or download their free report online at ICAGoldSilver.com to learn how you can double your gold and silver ounces even within an IRA. 800-525-9556. ICAGoldSilver.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. To me, an activist's calling is to actively work to advance a cause. The cause for which I work is personal freedom. I believe my life is best when I engage in voluntary interactions and self-government. I reject the idea that anyone else has a higher claim to my life or my body than I do. I see people who call themselves the government as a threat to my personal freedom. I realize you may feel differently, but my relationship with the people who call themselves the government is completely involuntary. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is a special alert for business owners, consultants, coaches, folks planning retirement, entrepreneurs, and anyone who is saving and investing to build a financial future. You are likely aware that financial privacy for most people has recently died a miserable death. And let's face it, without privacy, there really is no security, is there? Bankrupt governments and banks on the verge of collapse are perhaps the biggest threat to your financial future today. The Lighthouse Law Club recognizes this and has been working diligently to provide safe, secure, and productive tools to ensure your privacy, your financial security, and your future financial well-being, despite the catastrophes which many people fear are looming ahead of us. Find out more with a variety of free videos on the YouTube channel for Lighthouse Law Club. Just search YouTube for Lighthouse Law Club and secure your future today.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Call in us, talk about whatever is on your mind. That number is 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria,
Michael,
and Mark.
And we've been talking about meats. Well, no, we haven't. We've been talking about meatless meats, evidently, which is, I hate the term meatless meats, but I love saying it because it's so absolutely absurd. But let's get straight into the phones here. We've got Gene, the Christian anarchist, calling in. Gene, what's on your mind?
Hey, I wanted to talk about a trip we're planning on in a couple of weeks, we're going to be going to Macau and possibly spend a day or so in Hong Kong. Now, I'd much prefer to spend more time in Hong Kong with what's going on over there. But of course, my wife is afraid of anything political, blah, blah, blah. You know how women are. Anyway, I've watched China for 25 years. I've been to China for 25, been going there for 25 years, and I've watched them playing with their new toys. I mean, 25 years ago, when I first went to China, I was kind of at that point afraid, I go into China, I'm never going to come out. But I found out it really wasn't that way at all. China 25 years ago was reasonably free. I mean, for a communist nation, they had just started going to a market economy, and people's income levels were picking up. Of course, there was no political freedom at all, but financially, everybody was getting better every single year for the last for the first 15 years or so. Now the last 10 years, things have started to clamp down, and I've watched the cameras going in, and I've been a victim of their Chinese censorship when I try to use internet over there.
Yeah, they're getting better at it too.
And they are. And I mean, it used to be easy to get around it. Just get a good VPN and you're around it. But now they're blocking a lot of the VPNs. It's getting harder and harder to get past their censorship and their political fervor over there, because they do have a very powerful tool in the form of controlling all the information that the Chinese people get to hear. So the Chinese people, when they get up in arms because they're angry at Taiwan because Taiwan has taken their little stupid islands or whatever, they actually believe that because that's the only side of the story they hear. And
well, I mean, things are really no different here.
Well, we do have more freedom here, thank God.
Oh yeah, we have more.
But
I mean, the information you're being fed at any specific time, you generally have no way of knowing whether or not that's true.
You have to go looking for other sides to a story, and it's not always easy to find it.
Right.
It's not. Right. It's generally possible, though. Here in China, it's really not.
But the worst thing throughout history, the worst thing you can possibly face, I think, is a mob, the mob mentality and the mob mindset. And the problem is when you control the information to, 2 billion people, and you make yourself a mob of 2 billion angry people, it can be a horribly scary thing. And I have heard tell of certain events going on in China where the people turn against foreigners or different kinds of people. And it's because they're being fed all this nonsense. It's not the people themselves, because I know a lot of people over there, and they're good. They're darn good people, but they get fed this nonsense, just like we get fed this nonsense about, the latest boogeyman overseas. And then the greater portion of the people will fall into that mindset that, oh, we hate those particular people. Now, yeah. Fortunately, we do have two sides of a story here if you look for it. But yeah, when you think that the only side they get is one side, and that's really all they ever hear, that's a scary thing. And all governments throughout history have used this technique to get the masses angry at whoever it is they want to point them at.
Yeah.
But I've hoped that the internet would be the one big thing that would spread liberty throughout the world. But if you can't get through that stupid firewall,
it's not going to do the job.
Run into a problem. Yeah. So anyway, I'm going to go to Macau, which is not really China, but not really not China. It's pretty close. And we might go over to Hong Kong, and I'll keep you guys posted.
Cool. Yeah, stay safe out there, and definitely keep us posted on the trip. Thanks for the call, Gene. It's certainly a scary situation in China. I don't know what people could do about it, though.
Well, Hong Kong, I don't know. I mean, it's all I'm very curious. Like Gene, I'd like to see what's going on there.
Absolutely. Let's get right back into it. We've got Mike calling from Gold Bar, Washington. Mike, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hi, you guys and girls. I
thank you.
wanted to mention about 5 years ago, I rented from what I would call a conspiracy theory bag nutcase lady that actually was more spot on than I ever imagined. I realize it now.
One wonders always,
but
yes.
Well, there was no meat allowed on her property in her residence where she lived. But what was really funny was she bought a property to escape to and had like 10,000 pounds of 5-gallon buckets of rice and drove a Geo Metro. But when she took me to her property, before she drove off, she said, "You have your cell phone?" And I'm like, "Well, duh. Of course I have my smartphone." She goes, and she opens her glove box and she drags out a Mylar blanket. Literally the whole space blanket, wadded up in there, and she goes, "Wrap it up." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Anyway, she goes, "I can't be tracked to my property." And it really actually, because I can't afford a dark bag, but believe it or not, you can take a space blanket, wrap your phone up in it, and it does the same thing as the thing you advertise if you're on a budget.
Yeah, if you're on a budget, there's some downsides to it, but it's true.
And you
If you're
really
on a
are
budget,
that worried about being...
you can just build something out of tinfoil, too.
Yeah. But it was just funny. This is a long time ago, and I thought, what a great invention. She should make something, and now here's this bag.
And here it is.
Can I ask Michael a question?
Go right ahead.
I'm not sure who it was that mentioned the TED Talk video about what you think you know about drug addiction. Was that you?
That was not me.
Somebody on the show.
Probably nobody is what we think.
Oh, it was no. Okay, I'm having a hard time keeping up, but with who's who, I'm just learning. But anyway,
It's a show full of white guys.
We've got a large cast of characters here.
And a trans chick.
Right. I'm just kind of new to the show, and I really appreciate the whole thing. And anyway, thank you, everybody.
Glad to hear it, Mike. Always positive. Always good to end on a positive note, rather. So the censorship thing in China, I wanted to discuss a little bit more briefly because it relates to the Go Dark bags and just the whole idea of government using technology to control the population.
Right. If people had been, had stepped in sooner with their Faraday bags, they might not have the penetration in the marketplace of government censorship might not be so large.
Yeah.
Just an idea.
And that would be great. Of course, China is increasingly Orwellian. That's actually legitimately Orwellian, what's going on in China, where they actually do have the ability to directly rewrite their own history. And they do it. It's horrifying. And of course, as I was alluding to when we were talking with Gene, it's not really that different here. We're taking people's words for it that World War II even happened. And I get there's massive amounts of evidence. I'm not saying it didn't happen. Sure, I'm saying it's almost certainly happened. But at the end of the day, I've never been to Europe. I've never looked through these fields and seen the history myself in person, I'm taking people's words for it.
I've seen a Civil War musket ball dug up at Gettysburg, but that's about as close as I could get. But who's to say it wasn't planted there, right? At some point or another, these. Can I prove I'm not an automaton that actually goes into, stasis when I walk out the door, and then just imagine having a family and a house and a car?
I mean, sure. That's certainly an issue. But when the governments control what information people has, they may very well convince you that you are an automaton. 855.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295-5305. That's 866-295-5305. hbextract.com. Don't risk it when you can take charge of it.
Message and data rates may apply. Individual results may vary. Exclusions apply.
But hey, I'm buying a huge flat screen TV so I can finally see it without my glasses.
Why not just get LASIK at the LASIK Vision Institute? That's what I'm doing.
My glasses and contacts are a pain. I'd love to finally get rid of these, but who can afford LASIK?
You can.
Because the LASIK Vision Institute is offering dramatically low prices and an absolutely free consultation. Just text DO11 to 350350. The LASIK Vision Institute has already performed over 1 million procedures. They use the latest FDA-approved LASIK technology that helps the majority of patients achieve 20/20 vision for a fraction of what others charge. Better vision, better value. The LASIK Vision Institute. Make this the year you finally get LASIK. For a free consultation plus an extra 20% discount, text DO11 to 350350. You'll see for free if LASIK is right for you. That's DO11 to 350350.
Anytime, any place, anywhere, radio remains the most intimate of all forms of media. At home, at work, in the car, on smartphones. Over 90% of consumers still listen to radio every week. That makes choosing radio as a place to advertise your business one of the best decisions you can make. Email advertise@gcnlive.com and partner up with an experienced GCN representative. Advertise@gcnlive.com. Easy, affordable, effective.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, talk radio that you control. If you're quick, you can still get on the air with us, so give us a call at 855-450-3733. And with you tonight, it's Aria,
Michael,
and Mark.
I want to say thank you to Barry, who is our amplifier today. That's the Amplify, Market, and Promote program that you can find at amp.freetalklive.com. Barry here.
Advertise, market, and promote. For the amplifier.
What did I say?
Amplify, market, and promote.
Oh, sorry.
Which is a little recursive.
You do help us to amplify the marketing.
That's what it's all about. The reason why we call it advertise, market, and promote is because that's where that money goes. It's not a general fund. It's specifically the marketing budget.
Right. And you can check it out at amp.freetalklive.com. Barry here is a silver amplifier, which means he donates $5 per month, which is all
Thanks,
it
Barry.
takes. Thank you, Barry. You get access to things like the AMP-only Facebook page, the AMP room on the Discord server. So it comes with a lot of cool little perks. There's even an AMP-only call-in line for people who amplify the show. So go check it out. Again, that's amp.freetalklive.com. Now, getting right back into it, we've got Olivia calling in from Arizona. Olivia, you're on Free Talk Live.
Mark,
I just wanted to, I wanted to address the religious thing just for a real brief moment, and then I wanted to talk about the vegetarian thing. So, I thought it was interesting because the Catholics claim to believe the Bible or like follow the Bible, but then they make their own rules that don't follow the Bible, because in 1 Timothy 3, verse 2, and yes, I looked this up, it says that a bishop must be above reproach, the husband of one wife, sober-minded, and it keeps going on. But I thought that was interesting that there's two ways to interpret that. You can only have one wife, or you have to have a wife to be a bishop. But I thought that was very interesting that that's in the Bible.
I'm not surprised. I mean, religious people in general have a habit of taking whatever it is they believe and making it sacrosanct by claiming it to be part of their religion.
Now, didn't the Catholics have a council at some point where they decided what books were going to be in the Bible?
Right.
That was Nicaea or Trent.
Not
one of the
Nicaea.
two.
Yeah, I don't know if it was Trent, but it was. They certainly did have more than one. But yeah, there was definitely one that sort of stands out. And in that, so many of these, what they call heretical gospels were, nope, that didn't happen. Nope, that didn't happen. And much, even the Catholics even keep a set of books that didn't make it into sort of the rest of our Bibles. So like St. George and the Dragon and a few others out of there.
Yeah.
Right. And then St. Paul actually said it's best to be celibate, but it's better to marry than to burn. And it seems like, raping children would definitely, according to their own beliefs, maybe they should, I don't know.
Well, according to the Catholic doctrine, all they have to do is ask for forgiveness and feel bad about it, and it will no longer be counted as a sin against them.
Well, that's Christianity in general, which, I mean, I do like the idea of redemption, but it's just setting up these like legalistic things where if you go to confession, then it's all good. It should be a change of heart, right? Not just I went through the motions type thing. That's my opinion anyways.
I'm with you.
That's the general idea, yeah.
I mean, those are the things I like about Christianity is the idea that you can, that you're not, you've done this thing, whatever this thing is, and, like the internet, for instance, sees you do something bad, whatever it might be. But, the internet's full of people who have been targeted for whatever reason for doing one bad thing. And then there's no redemption. It's just like, we know you for this. You are therefore bad and evil. And that's not, I mean, you're not looking at the whole person here. You're looking at an instant that you saw them, and I don't find that to be acceptable.
Yeah, I totally agree. But I wanted to ask you real quick, Mark, I think earlier, were you the one who said that St. Paul, did you say St. Paul was a con man?
Oh, I believe St. Paul's con man. Yeah, absolutely.
It's interesting you say that. Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go.
You say that because I always felt like something was off in those books of the Bible. Like the tone is completely different, and you start getting these legalistic rules where Jesus seemed more like, I don't know.
I find most of the Bible to be kind of nonsensical.
I like that the Bibles that have Jesus's words in red, because
Jesus was a good dude.
If those, who knows who wrote those Gospels? It would have been nice for me, if God had come to earth, it would have been really awesome for him to scribble a few things down. Hey, here are the things you actually have to do. One would presume that if God came to earth, that's what God would do. The idea that you have, some people who knew somebody writing this stuff down, very disturbing. Another thing is that it would have been really awesome if Jesus would have been quoted as saying something like, "Slavery's wrong, stop it."
Yeah, whereas you had Paul.
Wash your hands after you poop. You're like, there's a few things that could have just been, tossed out there that would have solved a lot of human misery.
But rather than doing that, Paul actually encouraged slaves to be obedient to their masters, even the cruel ones.
Yeah.
And in the Old Testament, good Lord, it loved slavery.
Yeah.
It's like the plot of the Old Testament.
Yeah.
By the way, if you want to know more about this claim that Paul's a hustler, don't blame me. Blame Chaim Maccabee and his book, The Mythmaker. So you can find that, anywhere that books are sold, you can find The Mythmaker by Chaim Maccabee.
Interesting. I'm going to have to check it out now.
I've got a copy. You can have it or use it.
That would be awesome.
I got to dig it out.
Well, Olivia, thank you so much for the call. Definitely an interesting perspective that Paul was a con artist.
Chaim Maccabee also makes the argument that Jesus was, in fact, a Pharisee. So likely these Gospels were written probably 100 years after Jesus lived, and the politics of the time changed. I mean, think about it for a minute. Has the politics of the United States changed in 100 years? You know, pretty dramatically. So politics can change pretty dramatically in 100 years, and that Pharisees fell out of favor in that time frame, so they framed the Pharisees as bad people, but likely Jesus was a Pharisee, is the claim.
Interesting. Let's get right back to it. We got David calling from New Mexico. David, you're on Free Talk Live.
I see a fairy.
Thanks.
That was you that we were talking about.
Well, it is.
Are you watching online?
Tranny Talk Live, talk radio you can troll. You invited.
Sure. I doubt your trolling is effective, but sure, you can call it trolling if you'd like.
I didn't know trolling was rated. I just thought you just did it. I didn't think it had an effectiveness rating.
Well, if you don't get a reaction from people, you're not trolling well. I feel like that's probably the best.
I guess I'm just not worried enough about what other people think. My goodness, I'll need to work on that. All around.
I'm just happy somebody's trying to tell a few jokes, on the air.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody does that.
All around terrible people. Aria.
Okay, what?
All around terrible people.
Okay. Are you going to finish that sentence?
Yeah. Well, that's what you said earlier about a group of people being cops.
Oh, cops.
And,
yes, they are all around terrible people.
Right. So if cops are a group of people that are all around terrible people, can other groups be all around terrible people?
Certainly. Is this about your conspiracy of the LGBT community targeting you for harassing a radio station?
Let's go down that track. So you were saying that you mock the idea that it might possibly be a conspiracy that literally everyone involved in trying to prosecute me for attempting to call in and have free speech, like they invite everyone to do. You mock my idea that might be conspiratorial. Let's go over to Nazi Germany for a second. You can laugh at this too.
Oh, good Lord. The LGBT community are Nazis now. Keep going.
The stormtroopers, the brown shirts, their leadership is known to have been primarily homosexual. Does that mean anything, or is that just coincidence as well?
That's false. I assume you're talking about the guy who was thrown into jail and ended up basically shooting himself because he was told he could shoot himself or he could face public disgrace and still be executed. I don't remember his name now.
I think you might have a few facts wrong, but what is it you're disputing?
Well, you're the one talking about gay Nazis. I would say if anybody's facts are wrong here, it's probably going to be you. The Nazis weren't big fans of gay people.
Are you able to answer the question that I asked you? So far, you haven't answered it.
Is it a coincidence that you've imagined a bunch of gay Nazis rounding up and killing people?
That wasn't the question. Do you remember the question?
The question was, do I think it's a coincidence that a lot of the head Nazis were gay? The answer is the assertion is silly on the face. All of Nazism contradicts it. And thanks for the call. Go check out the show archive at freetalklive.com. The archive there.
Archives.freetalklive.com.
Oh, is it? Okay.
On the front page, you can get the most recent show. Free Talk Live is now on more than 200 radio stations nationwide. We've had more than 18 million podcast downloads, and we claim millions of listens a month. We're a multimedia ad venue with print, email, web, and terrestrial radio marketing platforms. We strive to have ad packages that cater to advertisers big and small. Contact me today at mark@freetalklive.com to see what we can do for you. mark@freetalklive.com. If you're a local advertiser, contact this station. But if you can service a national audience, contact me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynavite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynavite.
Dynavite for life.
Pick up 2 tubes of Doggo Suds.
Get the third tube free.
Peppermint, tea tree, lavender, Doggo Sud shampoo.
Made with all-natural coconut, jojoba, aloe, great for